First thing I want to say is that when you go on this diet, the primal diet, remember there's always adjustments to make. Even if I put you on a diet and you go through some changes and you're going through certain kinds of detoxes and you have certain symptoms, you look up in the book the symptoms that you're having, and that's what you do. Now, you may not have the disease, but you have the symptoms. If you want to be able to access that quickly, the best thing to do is to go to WeWantToLive.com and get the downloaded books. That way you can plug right into it, on search and find on a PDF file, the Adobe Reader file. That's the easiest way to do it, the quickest. Okay. You don't have to go through an index. You don't do all of that. Of course, the indexes in the books are pretty good. I had the latest version of We Want to Live. This is Primal Diet on the cover. I had a professional couple who do indexes. They did it, so it's pretty thorough. However, it's quicker to access if you're in a pinch and not feeling well and having some symptoms. It's always better to access it on your computer and get the answers a little bit quicker, as quickly as possible. But there are always adjustments to make. A lot of people say, well, I got on the diet, I did great for a year and a half, and, I keep doing the same things, or I've adjusted it. And if you're not doing well on it, it means you're not making the proper adjustments for your changes. So reread the books. A lot of people think one read through is okay. I have students that I had read it up to 16 times, and for each reread, they got as much out of it as they did the first time, because there's a lot of things that don't register until you experience it. And that's many years of experience in there. So don't think that you have it down just because you've read the book once or twice. I recommend that people read it every 6 months to 12 months, 6 to 12 months. Absolutely once one read through in each book. Okay, let's start from the back this time. Barbara, do you have a question?
I have a question. We'll come back to me.
Okay.
I have a question about the book. I have a book that's like 5 years old or 6 years old. Is the revised one greatly different?
There's 55 new pages in the, and I've adjusted a lot of things in it. Yeah.
Okay. You know about this condition, pterygium, this little growth in the eye?
What about them?
I would like to know what you recommend to eradicate it.
Well, it depends on it. Is it a sty or is it a wart?
It's a pterygium.
Pardon?
A pterygium that grows over the iris.
Oh, I see. It grows over the cornea. The cornea, right. You can put some coconut cream in it. You have to get it very warm so it's diluted, and there are no flakes in it. There's no pulp in it. And you can put that with just a tiny speck of lime juice in it. The lime and the coconut cream together you can put in there. No, you put it right into the eye. You can make a mixture of it. Let's say you have 2 tablespoons of coconut cream and a drop of lime. That's all it takes. Mix that in. Take your finger. Make sure it's completely dissolved and clear. And then just rub it on the eye and then roll the eye around. Or you can rub it right onto that spot. And you do that once a day. It usually resolves it within about a year. They're not easy to get rid of. That's heavy scar tissue. Okay. Do you have a question? All right. Do you have a question? No. Do you have a question?
Yeah, besides the diet, is there anything one can do to increase my
That's yours, right?
What is?
Well, that's about having the proper fats. He wants to know how he can tolerate the sun. Lack of proper fats in the skin is what causes intolerance. The sun combines with fats in the skin, turns it into vitamin D, and it is absorbed. If you have improper fats and you don't have the proper conversion enzymes to convert the fats into vitamin D, you will blister and burn or have a rash, create a rash. So the best thing to get to the skin is eating the lubrication moisturizing formulas. Remember the moisturizing lubrication formula? It's in the recipe book on about page 146, I believe. And I call it moisturizing for women because they like to be moisturizing, and lubrication for men because they like to be lubed. That's why you'll hear me say double. For this time, I'll just call it the moisturizing formula. When I'm talking to a woman, when I'm talking to a man, it'll be the lube formula. Okay? So remember, they're the same thing. So the lubrication formula, if you have that a couple of times a day for about 10 days, and then once a day after that, usually within about 30 days, you can tolerate the sun. Okay, and that means it's lots of butter in there. The raw and salted butter. Okay? All right, do you have a question?
That's right. No.
No? Okay.
I didn't think you were coming this way.
I'm going to go this way. I'll come back to you if you need to think. Do you have a question?
I don't have a question right
Okay, do you have a question? Okay, do you have a question?
now. I didn't think
Okay.
of a question.
Do you have a question?
I didn't think of it.
Do you have a question?
Yes, there's been some word about mold where I work. I have two questions to come from that one topic. How do you find out about the type of mold or what's dangerous, what can harm you, and then do you have any recipe for in case I was exposed to mold and it's to stop it from
any mold that grows on a building that is not wood, is not concrete, is a toxic mold. Because it's feeding on the building materials, the fabricated building materials. It's always a toxic substance. It will always be a toxic mold, a toxic fungus. And when it spores, you breathe those in. What you have to do to the environment, to your walls, wherever it's contaminated, you need to dry out the room, wear a mask, vacuum the walls and the ceiling and the floors. Then you have to wash it down with vinegar and some non-aluminum baking soda and a little bit of the BioClean degreaser, cleaner degreaser. And what that has in it, they use grapefruit seed oil and lemon peel oil in that particular soap detergent. And it's the only one that I know is 98% biodegradable. All the others say biodegradable, including seventh, whatever they call themselves, seventh generation.
Yeah.
And like 12% is biodegradable. Everything else is toxic, So when they say you have something that's biodegradable, it's usually a false statement. Very little bit of that is biodegradable. Anyway, you wash the walls down thoroughly, and you wear a mask this whole time, and then you have to dry out the walls. You need some space heaters, coil-based space heaters. Those things that get coil and orange hot. 2 or 3 of them per room, if you're doing a room at a time. And then you need to seal off one of the rooms with some kind of canvas in between to keep the heat in there, because it needs to get up to about 130 degrees. And that'll bake it through into the wall. You need to do that for about 2 days, bake it. So you destroy the mold deep into the wall. And then you need to vacuum it again, because it will spore as it's first getting warm. The mycelium, which is the basic mother of the fungus, is setting out little spores, and they create a little bit, those little fuzzy things. Those are your mushrooms. Those are your spores. So you need to vacuum that. Then you're okay until you have another rain spell or moisture spell. If you don't keep your house, very dry. If you're living at a beach where it's always moist, you're in trouble. You may have to do that every month, every 2 months. Because
Your house is made of wood.
if your house is made of wood, it's no problem.
What about the paint on the wall?
The paint, that's a problem.
So you mean if wood gets wet, it's not a problem? Huh?
That mold does not a problem with an animal's body, including ours. But if the paint's getting moldy, you've got trouble. Plasterboard, any of that, because what it does, that mycelium digests the paint, makes it into flakes. The mycelium that's grown on paint is very toxic substance. When it spores and that becomes powder in the air and we inhale it, it poisons your lungs, it poisons your whole body.
So you can obviously see the mold on the paint.
What do you do
You've got to clean it. Then to arrest that mold in your body, you need to have about, depending upon the size of your body, anywhere to 4 to 5 tablespoons of lime juice. If you're a very large person, like John back there, he could have, 8 tablespoons of lime juice. And it would be like 2 to, or 1.5 to 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. Then you'd have an equal amount of the lime and lemon combination. You'd have an equal amount of honey to that combination of lemon lime. So if you have 6 tablespoons of lemon lime altogether, you'd have 6 tablespoons of honey. Then you have 5 to 6 tablespoons of coconut cream, 1 to 2 tablespoons of dairy cream. You blend that all together. Some people, if they have a lot of allergies, they need to use a teaspoon of vinegar or a half to a whole teaspoon of vinegar. And then you blend that all together and you add it to 2 to 4 ounces of sparkling water. That's going to taste like a lime coconut float. Do not gulp it, even though it's delicious. You've got to sip it, because if you piss it out, it's not going to get in there and destroy the molds. Now, you only do that if you have a mold situation and you're very toxic. You can do it for 3 to 4 days in a row. Then after that, only 1 day a week. Because just like an antibiotic, that lime juice will destroy the good bacteria as well as the bad once it gets up to a certain level.
So don't do it if you don't have mold issues.
Pardon?
Don't do it if you don't have mold issues.
Correct. Well, it's good as an antibiotic. Let's say you have a case of spinal meningitis or cerebral meningitis, and it's too much. You're going to panic and end up going to the hospital. Rather than go to the hospital, have that, and that'll slow that detoxification down. Okay?
You said mold on cement's okay or not okay?
Mold on cement is okay. I mean, once the lime is broken down, it still doesn't absorb and digest very easily into our systems on this diet. I mean, for a person who isn't on the diet, they may have a problem with the mold in concrete.
Okay.
Okay? Yes.
I dislocated my third toe, like all the way down. It's not all the way off the bone, but it's like partially off.
Uh-huh.
And they were saying that if I had to get x-rays done because I didn't know if they needed to do surgery or not. And they were saying if I didn't get it fixed properly or whatever, I could develop arthritis or something.
Well, your cartilage is going to grind itself. You just need. Well, I broke 6 toes one time on a bicycle accident. I was riding in the desert, and I was going pretty fast, and somebody had left their sprinkler system on all night, so it created an algae in the gutter, and it was just like ice. My bike flipped out, my foot caught on the curb and ripped the toes apart, so they were ripped to here, broken here, and 2 of them here. So, of course, I don't like to go to doctors, so I knew a 14-year-old girl that loved to crack people's knuckles. So I went to visit her, and she cracked my knuckles in place. So she just pulled out, and it set right back where it's supposed to go. So all you need is somebody, chiropractor or somebody like that. Pardon?
Have somebody push back the list. It's not that bad. They did take an X-ray. I didn't want to, but they did. And just to make sure, and it was just kind of off. Just one of them actually, a little far down though.
All you have to do is pull it out, and your tendons will realign it. It just needs to snap out first. I couldn't do it. I tense up when I'm going to do it, so I couldn't do it myself. So I had that little girl do it, and she loved doing it. Do you have a question, Max? Okay. You have a question?
Yeah, when I last was exercising, I did like yoga stretches and weightlifting. Now, if I stopped exercising, I found that after 3 months, I was still the same strength. Mm-hmm. But if I stopped stretching for a week, I'd almost lose everything. Mm-hmm. Why is there such a discrepancy? Why do you lose the flexibility?
On this diet, when you're eating raw meats and raw fats, muscles, I don't do anything. I mean, literally, I'm on the computer. And I just hold this. Once every February, I'll come and trim some trees, about 2 tons of trees, and drag those around and haul it. But that's the only heavy work I ever do. And I retain the muscles. On this diet, you retain muscle very easily. However, because we're so toxic, we always have minerals combining with poisons to try to neutralize them, to alkalinize those over-acidic free radicals that are throughout the body. So that causes calcifications. They call it calcification because the highest mineral is always calcium, but it's a conglomerate of minerals. It's not just mainly calcium, but these deposits will collect everywhere, and that causes stiffness. And then you have to get the lubrication, you have to get the lymph system moving into those areas, and the blood and the neurological fluids all have to get in there to make sure that these are dissolved and they don't stay growing as crystals.
Anything you can do to mitigate it?
Yeah, be on the diet 40 years.
40.
Then you'll never have to worry about it again. Because all those cauterized minerals will be out of your body and you'll never crystallize again.
Okay.
Lewis, you have a question?
Yes. The lymphatic bath program, the difference between the long ones and the short ones done intermittently, what is the purpose of the short ones? What do they accomplish compared to the long ones?
Okay. The lymphatic baths in We Want to Live, 2nd edition, the revised edition of 2005, it talks about lymphatic congestion and lymphatic baths. Lymphatic baths are when you take a bath for 60 minutes and 60 to 90 minutes. That's 1 to 1.5 hours. You have to keep the water at least 102 degrees, no hotter than 105. And you have to keep it steady within that range for that entire 60 to 90 minutes. Now, the reason for that is you've got everybody has congested lymphatics. Your lymph system cleans out the body. When your lymph system is healthy and flowing properly, the lymph system feeds every cell in the body except for the mature red and white blood cells that travel in the bloodstream. Until the red and white blood cells are mature in the bone marrow, the lymphatic system is still responsible for feeding them. The lymph system, when it has to clean the body out, it gets jammed. It starts collecting all of the hardened fats, especially all of those hydrogenated vegetable oils or vegetable oils in general. Vegetable oils in the human body crystallize. That's what causes hardening of the heart and arteries, not animal fat. That's a myth, a fiction. An herbivore that eats vegetables and vegetable oil in their vegetables have a body temperature of 101 to 105 degrees. Ours is 98.6 and lower. So when we eat vegetable oils, if it's made a part of a cell, it will store in the body and crystallize over about a year to 5 year period. And once it's crystallized, you cannot get it dissolved unless you can get the body temperature high enough. And that's 102 to 105 degrees. So you have to stay in it that long before it gets deep enough to get into those lymph glands and lymph nodes. It takes an hour to get there. Well, it takes about 50 minutes to get there. So in an hour, you've spent 10 minutes starting to dissolve some of it, melt some of it. You stay in a full hour and a half, and you've melted at least 1/1000th of an inch. That's not much, but you figure each time you take a layer and dissolve it, you're going to melt it and get it out of your body. You're going to start relieving it from the body. Otherwise, you're not. Your lymphatic system will stay congested for your entire life. I don't care what diet you're on, even if you're on this diet. I don't care if you do trampoline for the lymphatic system or what. It will not move if it's hardened. It has to be softened. It has to be softened. So what you do is, before you get in the bath, like it says in the book, you have a combination of pineapple, coconut cream, a tiny bit of dairy cream, a tiny bit of butter, and a little bit of honey, and you blend that all together, and you drink it right before you get into the bath or as soon as you get into the bath. That, then when you get out of the bath in an hour to an hour and a half, you get out of the bath, you're going to feel like a wet noodle, a limp noodle, and you're not going to want to move very fast. And you want to keep that door closed because you want that bathroom to stay hot, and you want to towel off gradually. Then you want to dress with winter clothes. I don't care how hot it is. And then you take a 45-minute walk. By the time you're taking that walk, that pineapple coconut mixture is going to be in your lymphatic system, moving in there, while that little bit of lymph space is still fluid. So when it moves in there, it can't harden when your body reaches 98.6 and lower again. It will not harden. It'll keep that little space, that little fine little area fluid. And you do that, and you don't do any more than 2 a week. Some people should, if you're very thin, you shouldn't do any until you put on weight. And you have to be at least 10, 15 pounds overweight before you do those. Because when that stuff dumps into the system, you better have enough fat to protect you. If you're dumping something like mercury or thallium or lead into that tissue, if you don't have the fats in the tissue, you are going to be damaged. And what happens if you damage your connective tissue? You're either going to develop lupus or MS. Not a pretty picture. So you've got to have at least 10, 15 pounds overweight before you do those hot baths. Once you start doing them, you can do 2 a week. Never closer than 3 days apart. So if you want on the same day of the weeks, the same days of the week, say you do it on Monday and then you do it on Thursday, if it should be done between 1:30 and 4:30 in the afternoon. So you do one on a weekend, or if you can only do it in the afternoon, on the weekends, you just do it 1 day a week on the weekend. Then each day you can do a 35 to 40 minute bath. And you don't have the pineapple and coconut cream mixture. You don't need that. That 35 to 40 minute bath is to relieve the toxins that have dumped from the lymphatic system and the connective tissue, to perspire it out of the body, or pull it out of the skin so it doesn't collect in there. So that's the answer. Okay? Yes?
First to the bath for the steam bath first, or it has to be...
Steam bath will damage your lungs, your mucous membranes, and it will cause your mucus to get thinner and thinner. Every time it burns your lungs and your sinuses.
Because it's chlorine or just any steam?
It's just the temperature, the steam. You have to get steam. It has to go to 212 degrees or higher. That steam, by the time you're inhaling, it's 160 degrees. Sauna is the same way. It's too hot. It'll damage the vitamins and enzymes in your lungs and sinuses. It's too hot. 102 to 105 is ideal, immersed in water. Well, what I do to keep the water hot, or I have a hot tub now back there, so I don't have to worry about that. It's a consistent temperature. But when I used to use a bathtub, I would fill the bathtub with scalding hot water halfway. Let it sit for about 7 to 10 minutes, and it would heat the entire tub. Then I would put lukewarm water in to fill the rest of the tub, and then my water would be warm, and my whole tub would be warm, and the water wouldn't cool quickly. Then I put my milk, my vinegar, my sea salt, and some coconut cream in that water to get rid of any toxins if you're using municipal water. If you're using well water like I have, just a little milk or coconut cream, and it's all you need. Just keeps the skin from getting dry. And in the book, We Want to Live, under lymphatic baths, it tells you how much of those ingredients to put in the bathtub to neutralize poisons. So then when you have the bath in that situation, you get into it, you go to sleep, just set a little alarm, because every 20 minutes, 20 to 23 minutes, you're going to have to let about 2 inches out of the water, and then you put scalding water in and just keep it rotating. You don't have to put any more ingredients in, but you just reheat the water about every 20 minutes. And you do that consistently for as long as you're in there, and you will keep the temperature regulated.
The daily baths?
Okay.
The daily baths, do they have to be 102 to 105 too, or can they be less?
No, it can be less.
Yeah.
But it has to be at least 101.
Oh, okay. So it's still
101 is pretty lukewarm,
Yeah.
It's not very warm.
Do you walk after those baths?
No, you don't have to. No.
Just sweating on the daily basis. If you sweat a lot in the summer, that won't do it. It has to,
That helps.
to be baths.
Yeah,
It
that
helps. Yeah.
But most people don't perspire everywhere.
Mm.
In the baths, you perspire everywhere.
Is it okay to take them at night, those 30-minute baths?
The 30, 34, you can take any time of the day.
If you're thin and you want to just perspire on toxins, you just do the short baths. Yes.
You can do the short baths to get it out, yeah.
The short bath?
That'll just dump the toxins out of the connective tissue that you throw there on a daily basis.
And that's safe if you're under.
That's safe, yeah.
If you did like 110 and then down to 102, would that be okay, or is that ideal?
It's not a good idea. 110 is pretty hot. You're going to start cooking the enzymes and vitamins in your skin.
So what's the max temperature?
105.
105?
Yeah. There's a misprint in the first book. In fact, all the way up until this last printing, there's a misprint. It says 110. Ooh. It says 110. It should be top 105.
How do you know if it's going to be 105?
You can have a thermometer.
Usually they're not very accurate. They're not very accurate when I've been looking at.
Well, it should be.
Well, get one that's for cooking. Well, what I use is I use a temperature one that you take the temperature on your tongue. Those are usually pretty accurate.
The swimming pool ones are not accurate. They're often 2 degrees lower than what they should be.
Yeah.
Many of them are. I've tested
Yeah.
them.
Yep.
So you can't go by
No, you can't go by that.
Are cooking thermometers reliable?
Pardon?
A cooking thermometer, is that reliable for the bath?
Unless you use them for cooking, they will be reliable unless you've used them for cooking. Once they've gone through a high temperature change, they go off about 2 or 3 degrees.
Okay.
Even up to 6, 7 degrees. Depends upon it. Yeah.
What about natural hot springs like Beverly Hot Springs over in Oxnard and Beverly?
Wonderful. Yeah.
Would that count as a lymphatic?
Well, you have to check the temperature. It fluctuates because it's from the underground thermal pool. And that even adjusts. So you just check the temperature.
Would that count as a lymphatic bath? No.
What?
The Beverly or Glen Ivy?
If you stay in for an hour to an hour and a half.
Didn't they let you put all your coconut cream in there?
No, at Glen Ivy, they have several hot tubs there that have no toxic minerals. Your skin's just going to get dry, so take the coconut cream with you and put it on your skin several times throughout the day to oil the skin.
But then you have to can dress up warm and walk. We're not going to be walking for that.
Well, you can. You can leave.
you can go
You've
out
got
and
your
walk.
pass. You go take a walk around the area and come back in.
You
Well,
can.
dressed up warm.
Can do.
Yeah, you can do that.
And you can. I want to tell you, anyone who's going there, because most people are too embarrassed to even ask, but when I go there and it's too cool, which has happened twice recently, you just ask for the attendant to come and check the temperature of the pool. I said it was 101, and he said, oh, no, it's not. It's 103. So I said, no, it's not. They came and checked and said, yes, it's 101. So you can put it up. So they will do it, because if you say it nice, I was very nice, I was very sweet to them. I said, you know, I've come all the way from San Diego, and it's only 101, and I have to have it for my healing. He said, okay. And then they went and put it up. And all the other people complained because it was too hot then, because they don't like it at 103, 104. But they will do it because they advertise it at 103 to 104. So you just have to be nice to them, and they'll come and do it. At the beginning of the day, you know, when you get there.
Yeah, theirs is a controlled heat. They have a thermal that comes out of the ground, but then they filter the water and then control the heat.
They've got two
That way.
heat sources, one cooler and one hot. They both come from mineral.
Yeah.
Hot and cold are good for the body?
Yeah. Just don't stay in the cold too long. Stay in the cold maybe 3 minutes at a time.
Do you like the mud? Do you use the mud additives?
What did you do, send those people away?
No, they didn't want to stay because they felt I told them they could stay because there was only 2 people, and they decided, well, they just didn't want to stay. They didn't really.
Okay.
Unless they're right there still.
Well, let them talk. Okay. Okay. I'm going down the line here. Okay. Give us.
We took our child for swimming lessons this summer. I was just wondering if there's anything you can do before or after the pool that would help mitigate like all the chlorine and all the chemicals in the water.
Chlorine, there's no way you can get around it. You got chloroform vapors.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
It was an outdoor pool, so it was a little bit better problem.
Doesn't make any difference when your head is this close to the water.
Yeah.
Unless you've got a hell of a wind, it is going to get into your system. There's no way around it. You can always put olive oil, butter, or coconut cream on your skin, or coconut oil on the skin to protect your skin from absorbing the chlorine. But you have to understand, chlorine is meant to dissolve. The greatest mineral in our hydrochloric acid is chlorine. So chlorine eats away at things. So if you're going to be in one of the swimming pools, never go in an indoor one. You're just asking for a lot of lung and sinus and brain toxicity. So if you're in an outdoor one and there's a breeze, you're going to get some toxicity. It's going to plant in the ears. That's why swimmers have so many ear conditions and sore throats and sinus problems, because of all that chloroform that they're breathing in. And just remember, chloroform transforms into formaldehyde in the human body often. So formaldehyde is a very toxic substance. So swimming pools is not a good thing.
So primal facial beforehand, I mean, would that help?
Primal facial's probably not a good one to do. You want something heavy oil, like the butter or olive oil or coconut oil.
Right.
Something that's going to really cake, and that chlorine is going to take a long time to eat through that oil.
But nothing you could do for the vapors.
Nothing you can do for the vapor. Well, you can eat something to help get rid of it, but that's planted in the brain is not going to be easy to get rid of.
Like cheese would. Eating cheese.
Those vapors are so finite. Even if you, let's say, put some cotton with some oil on it, and you're breathing through it, it will filter out some of it, and those oils will arrest some of it. But it won't be easy. As soon as you get water in that cotton, you're not going to be able to breathe, and they're going to come out anyway. So there's really no way to keep, cotton balls up there. in your nose to help filter it out with some oil on it. But if you want to get rid of formaldehyde and the toxicity from the chloroform, you take a half of a mango, a green mango, a tart mango, 1 kiwi, a tablespoon of honey, about 4 tablespoons of coconut cream, tablespoon of dairy cream. Blend that all together. You can even put, let's say, a teaspoon of lemon in with it also. Blend that together, and then eat that. That'll help get rid of formaldehyde and chloroform from the body. Pardon? If somebody's going to ask a question, raise your hand, because all of a sudden everybody else is raising their hand, and some people are speaking up, and they're asking about the same things. Barbara, go ahead.
Can I give that to the dog? Because you said the dog had that rash, and you said it was from formaldehyde from the
It will probably give the dog some diarrhea, but that's okay.
Because the rash is just getting bigger.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're right. Yeah.
Is there anything you would recommend? Like like my association, I went to them and said, "Can you not put the chlorine in?" And they said, "Sure, give us a better solution." So
Yes.
I don't know what is besides research.
You get the salt chlorinators. Salt chlorinators. It's they're called electrical chlorinator. What it is you put salt, like rock salt, good, just sea salt. Rock salt is sea salt. It's not cleaned, it's not sterilized like your table salt is. And then chlorine added to it. So you just put that rock salt in the pool, and it sends electrical charge through it. And it converts some of that salt into chlorine that is non-chloroform vapor producing.
Okay for the skin as well?
It's great. My landlord, Fred Siegel, just built a pool down here, and that's where I go swim now.
And bromine, no good, or ozone?
Bromine is, again, that's a very toxic substance. This is one chemical company bamboozling you for another. Oh, well, let's use bromide. Oh, well, chlorine, bromide. What's worse here? Ridiculous. Ozone is very bad. Ozone will oxidize the fat in your skin. Then your skin will start dissolving. So not good for the skin.
So sad because all these, the Santa Monica YA or something, they advertise, we don't use chlorine, we use
ozone. Well, that's, they were sold a false bill of... If you ozonate anything, take a look at the one way you can really tell how bad it is find somebody that will give you ozonated olive oil. It is the foulest smelling shit in the world. And that's shit is a good thing. But this oxidized olive oil is foul smelling and it's very repulsive. It putrefies it.
There are people that are injecting pure ozone in there.
I know. I've watched 12 of them die.
It's like the rage down there.
Yeah, I know. It's just people get hoodwinked into doing these things, and you have to look who's behind it. Who comes up with these ideas?
Mine.
It's ridiculous.
Are you sure?
Yours is that one? Joe?
No, it's not mine.
Okay, how about over here? Yours is over here?
Oh.
Okay. Put it there.
Excuse me, Audrey.
Go.
That formula you gave, you said
thank
green mango?
Yes. That's an unripe mango.
I have a hard time finding green anything in the store.
I don't know where you go. Everywhere I go, I can always find green mangoes. So,
Yeah, I've seen lots.
Green mangoes are easy to get. Green. Okay, anything else on that subject? Yes.
We have a pool that uses a float pump, which is a sun-powered. They do make them. You monitor the amount of copper. It uses solar power, utilizes the copper, and it's an extremely good dechlorinator. You add just enough You float one small chlorine tablet, just enough to burn off the body oils, that's all. Not enough, you won't taste it. You can actually drink the water, it's that safe. You keep the copper below, it's called Flotron. I think it's made in Arizona. The
I
company's in
tested
Arizona.
it. It's not good.
We've had it for 20 years. It's been great.
There is a process where they use just a small bulb,
It's not
or
it's a thing like this. It's solar powered, and then it has a copper electrode.
Coil,
A copper coil, and it releases the copper. And the copper is a wonderful. It gets rid of that stuff in the pool. Not fungus. What's it called? Algae. It's wonderful dealgicide, and what you do is you monitor it. You have a little tester kit, you get it. And then when it gets above a certain point, you just take that out of the water for a week or two before you're ready to put it back again. And the water's safe enough that you can drink it. If there were emergency and we all had no water suddenly, or Laguna Beach was cut off from a water supply, I could drink my pool water if I had to.
That's her opinion. I don't agree.
Yeah.
I found the copper's too high. Copper patinas. It rusts in the system, even in small amounts. So I don't agree with that one.
Can't you kill a plant by putting a copper?
Yeah, you can if you
Absolutely,
but if you put enough. I mean, you have to put this. If you cleaned out your coil and you dumped it on the plant, that would be very toxic. You have to dispose of the stuff around the coil. But the coil has a protective thing around it. But the water really has no chlorine. It has no taste. It's wonderful. Now, I don't say the salt pools aren't as good, but this is very easy, and we've used it.
Salt pools are good to have.
Well, it depends on how much salt you put in it. Some people put a tremendous amount of salt, but it doesn't take much salt to keep algae from growing. You know, for a good pool filter, you could use a sand filter. Like on my hot tub back there, I have a 300-pound sand filter that's made for a huge swimming pool. That's because I don't want to change the sand every year. I want to change it every 10 years. So I've got this 300-pound sand filter back there that filters the water. So the water's crystal clear in my pool, in my hot tub, as long as I have it running. But it will grow algae, but I love my algae. So I like it. It's really soft and nice. Just float around on. So I dig my algae.
That's what you recommend for people in a pool, is sand filter.
Yeah, the sand as far as your filter goes, yes.
And that will filter out the city water.
No, I've got well water here. So you've got to go through several different filters if you want to use city water, municipal water. You use first a HEPA, a very finite HEPA paper filter, then a charcoal or carbon filter, and then the sand filter to get all that garbage out. But the sand filter alone will keep the water crystal clear. It won't stop algae on the walls of your pool from growing.
People's pools, you can swim in it without applying anything on your skin.
No, water dries out the skin. So you still want something on the skin.
Like coconut cream.
Like coconut cream. Coconut cream is not all that as heavy, and that's a nicer thing to use. Nicer for the skin. Because the coconut cream has water-soluble vitamins and minerals, as well as the oil-soluble. And oil in the coconut cream is only 5% of the coconut cream. Anything else about the pools?
Speaking about salt, how about water softeners that use salt? Do you recommend those?
No, I don't. Because they use things like sodium chloride, potassium chloride, which is saltpeter. So they use chemicals to break down those minerals to dissolve them into a finer substance so it isn't hard water.
Do you use a different kind of salt with that? You can't use a different kind of salt on it?
Well, there are forms of ion chlorinators that you can have floating around in it.
I was curious about your sequence of filters. Usually you go from a large micron to a small. And you said like HEPA's 0.2 micron and
I want the chemicals out first.
That's going to clog that sucker up so fast.
Nope, doesn't. Doesn't. I mean, you still have to change it every 3 months. You know. See, it just depends on the size.
Yeah.
You know, you're talking about a swimming pool. Depending upon the size, you know, each one should be this big, and your sand filter can be huge.
And the pool companies put those in?
Yeah. You just have to ask them. You'd have to tell them what you want. They'll always give you the cheapest of everything first. Okay. Anything else about pools?
Yeah, you're just talking about pool ionization.
Yeah, the electrical chlorinator when it charges it gives ion charges to the sodium molecules that causes a chlorine-like reaction.
So you're saying that chlorine that you produce through ionization, through polarization of sodium and chlorine, that chlorine doesn't produce?
Doesn't produce a chloroform vapor.
There's still a chlorine.
Yeah, but it won't be a chloroform. Yeah. Okay.
Water to purify it before bottling. Does that just affect?
Well, there's no oil in the water, so it's no big deal. You know, but if you're in the water, I won't drink any water that's been ozonated.
And how about, could you get some feedback on hydrogen peroxide? What do you,
You're getting into a different thing. Let's stick with just pools now. If you got that question, that can be your question later, okay? Barbara, do you have a question now?
Yes. My question. First, I should say that the formula that Aajonus gave, the antibiotic formula for mold, whoever that was.
The lime juice and coconut cream?
Coconut cream. 2 weeks ago, I had a green ear infection, fever, everything hurt, collarbones, jawbones. Aajonus gave me that formula so that I did not have to go to the hospital emergency room, which, believe me, I was considering heading in that direction with a degree of pain. But I did not want to go to the hospital emergency room, and that formula worked. Within 5 hours, the fever broke. All the pain except for the ear was gone. 8 hours, fever gone, everything gone. So just want to say that works beautifully well for anyone interested in an antibiotic formula. Now my question, okay, you mentioned since I'm not depressed or don't have digestive problems, that high meat would not be for me.
I didn't say it wouldn't be for you. I would say it was something that you don't necessarily need.
Okay. But then, how about worry or anxiety?
That involves usually overproduction of adrenaline or detoxifying old adrenaline that's in the body. Nut formulas for that.
What if you're awake?
Yeah. Pardon?
But not high meat.
Right. Now the high meat, the reason it works for depression and terrible moods is because the E. coli, the last stage of digestion in your body, that E. coli breaks down and has the final digestion of fats and proteins. It puts it in very microfinite solutions that feed the brain and nervous system. When you have poor E. coli, you'll have depression all the time. People who do colonics and enemas, when they do the colonic and enema, they rush over 2 billion E. coli into their bloodstreams. But then they're washing the E. coli out of their intestines out. So then they have to keep doing the enemas or colonics to rush the E. coli into the system to be able to feed the brain and the nervous system. And it is a trap. So if you eat high meat, the bacteria in the meat predigest those the same way the E. coli would into finite molecules to feed the brain and the nervous system. That's why when you eat high meat, does everybody know what high meat is? Good. Okay.
No, I
don't.
Oh, you don't? High meat is when you take meat, you chop it up in small pieces, you put it in a jar, and you let it start rotting, decaying. The bacteria in the meat will start decaying itself digesting itself. And when that happens, then it will cause, if you're psychotic, neurotic, doesn't matter what it is, depressed, it will resolve that in 10 to 20 minutes after eating the high meat. It happens in, so far, 196 cases out of 200, even from the first time of using it. So it's a very good thing to use if you're depressed.
Get a psychiatrist to prescribe that.
You can get a few heard my lecture and tried it with some of their patients, and it worked every time they tried it, so they do recommend it.
How old does it have to be?
If you make it out of the refrigerator, you can have it, I usually tell people so it doesn't stink up their houses and so they don't have to be as diligent. They put it in the refrigerator, they take it out every 3 to 4 days outside, open it up, put new air in it, screw it back on and put it back in your refrigerator. If you want, and that'll take about 14 to 21 days to be ready. If you want it ready quickly, don't put it in the refrigerator, put it in a dark cupboard, take it out every 2 days, and then put new air in it and put it back in the cupboard. Now if you go 3-4 days, it's going to start gassing and stinking up your cupboard, and that hangs around. That's why I say don't open it in your house, don't eat it in your house, because it will hang in the drapes, the rugs, and everything. People are going to come in your house and say, what's dead in here? It's dying, it's rotting in here. Are you dying? Do you have cancer? So
how long does it take when it's in the cupboard?
It takes about 10 days, 10 to 12 days. Yeah.
Is it dangerous to eat too much of it?
I have a fellow who was about 6 foot tall, about 240 pounds, started on the diet, and about a year and a half, he was always depressed. He became a landscape artist because he hated people. Most antisocial besides me when I was younger and so ill. He was the most antisocial person that I ever knew. And finally, after a year and a half, I got him to try the high meat, and it worked for him in 10 minutes. So he, over the next 6 months, he adapted to eat only high meat. So he eats 2 pounds of high meat a day. And the last time I went and did a workshop in his area, he had 3, now he's only about a 4.8 or a 5 in the looks department, and he's still a big bear of a guy, but he became such a happy person. He got a great personality, funny as can be. I mean, he could be a stand-up comedian, be better than the top out there. And he had 3 number 10 girlfriends at the same workshop, together. That's charm. So that's the extreme. So he only eats high meat, 2 pounds a day. He doesn't eat any fresh meat. No, he doesn't. No, I'm surprised. Yeah, no, he doesn't. I think your body adapts to it.
Well, his house smells.
No, he has a shed that he does it all in now. Separate refrigerator, separate shed. Yes.
Pounds a day?
Pardon?
Is this done mainly with just red meat?
No, it all depends on what kind of meat you need.
What does he use?
I do mainly fish. That causes my breath to stink. But I just deal with it. I need to eat fish because all the chemotherapy I had. Yes.
Yeah, wouldn't a lot of high meat in people that don't have the condition like the other person you mentioned cause like detoxification symptoms?
I can't say that it does because in only about 5% of the cases do people go into diarrhea and vomit after having the high meat, and that's a lower incidence of vomit and diarrhea on a normal basis.
So how much meat, what kind of meat should people eat? Fish or chicken or beef?
It depends on what you need. And it tells you how to make that decision in the book, and We Want to Live. If you have a very high adrenaline system, you're hyperactive and lots of energy, you need the white meats. Now, white is a misnomer. Don't consider white in the book, or white in my books, white meat is in my books, as a color. It is just a category. And if you had salmon or tuna or, ostrich, which is as red as liver, that's in the white meat category. So white is not a color, it's a category.
Chicken is white.
Yeah. Any poultry is in the white category. Okay? Yes?
Can we review again, because I read it, but can you review again the theory behind eating the spoiled meat, the high meat?
The high meat, again, the bacteria in the meat starts digesting itself. That's the decay process. It eats itself, goes back into the earth. Earth organisms eat it, and then it creates more life. It's just a pre-digester. It digests it the same way that we have salmonella and a variety of other bacteria in our intestines, including E. coli, to break down that food so that we can use these finite molecules of fat and protein and carbohydrate and whatever else is in the meat itself.
But why use the high meat and just not digest it normally?
Because most people don't have poor digestion.
So the high meat aids.
The high
How
meat,
does that help somebody
yeah.
with a psychiatric problem?
Because the brain and the nervous system are not getting fed because their E. coli is poor.
And kefir after
Kefir doesn't
is
help
good.
you break down that finite molecule.
It's more for the bowel.
Yeah, it's the bowel that requires that, the E. coli.
Just what about all that old meat we have sitting in the refrigerator, sitting in the 16-ounce jars that's been sitting there for months?
I've used it up to a year and 3 months old.
How about if it's older? Throw it out. If it's been sitting there in a jar for maybe a couple months with no air.
You can start opening it again. After about 2 or 3 openings, it'll be active again. That's fine. I've had it up to a year and 3 months old.
You can use those old jars as our high meat.
Exactly. Yes.
6 days we have high meat.
Exactly. Yeah.
What about with liver?
Pardon?
Is liver going to be better than food?
Well, just liver is more concentrated in protein. That can cause some heavy detoxifications of the pancreas, the liver, and the brain when you have that concentration of high meat, of protein. Usually it's a better balance if you're using fat with the protein. So it's a little bit more balanced and regulated. But when you've got a concentrated protein like liver, you're asking for, and you're eating a lot of it, you're asking for detoxification.
So we shouldn't eat that stuff in the old jars straight out of the jar. We should give it the time.
Yeah, give it a few cycles of opening it with the air getting into it again. Okay.
If I'm not really raw yet, how long would you say is like a minimum to wait to try this part?
About a month. Which he asked was, I haven't been on the raw food diet. How long would I have to wait before I can have the high meat, start taking high meat? And I said about a month on the diet. Okay. All right, let's get back to questions. Where were we?
One other thing quickly. If it's older than a year, throw it away.
No, I don't know that. You can test it over a year and 3 months. I've only had it up to a year and 3 months. Yes.
Can you talk about your
Wait a minute, this is still already.
Is there something called chemtrails or something that planes release going flying over places?
Yes.
Can you tell me about that? I don't know.
Well, I did it. It's really, it's not a subject that I like to get into here because it's a very complex one. And the U.S. government is bombing us, is spreading their waste products from military, industrial military development over us. And it's got aluminum, it's got all kinds of barium, other waste products from developing military weapons. They have nowhere to store it anymore, so they're bombing it all over the place.
So the whole United States is like getting it pretty much?
When I was in Thailand in February, and the U.S. military was there. The U.S. military goes to Thailand every year and does exercises with them and teaches them how to be good military people. And they were bombing there for the first time, chemtrailing that whole area. Taught them how to chemtrail. So it's happening all over. It's all over Europe. All over Europe. These big military machines, they have to have somewhere to dump their poison, so they dump it on their own population. The desert's already dead.
You can't bury it?
They have to spread it all over. They're doing it everywhere.
You can't bury it?
They're trying to thin it out everywhere. And they say, and there's so many people that are, that it's okay to damage. Let's say the casualty rate is,
she's asking about
let's say 500 out of 10,000. That's an acceptable loss. Is what the military and the government considers okay.
No, it's mine. She wants her machine left alone. This is my machine. This is my machine.
Oh, wait.
It's right here.
Which one's yours?
Well, that I've already given on, if you go into the archives, if you go into We Want to Live, remember the We Want to, T-O, is the number 2.
Put it there.
It's been right here the whole time.
No, it's been here the whole time.
No, it hasn't. He's been watching.
Who's she talking to?
What are you...
They're fighting over whose machine.
Right. There's hardly anything being taped on that because I didn't turn the record
forgot to
part
turn
on.
it
You
on.
were watching my machine. I put it here.
It ended up there, then I grabbed it from there and put it back there.
This is my machine.
Is that your tape?
No, it's 100.
How would you
tape.
prove
My tape.
Well, then who took mine? You were watching.
She would have.
No, wait a minute.
Yeah,
We're all the
you have
same. I don't
mine.
know which is mine, which is yours.
Okay, everybody, you bring a tape recorder next time, you put some
Which
kind of
is
a mark
mine?
on it.
Are you
put it
sure
on
that's
tape. You put
mine?
a tape with your name.
No, that's mine.
Well, let's see about the
I'm
tape.
looking at
Let's
my
look at the
tape.
tape.
I'm looking at it. It's fine.
Who's got what tape?
That's mine. That's one I use.
CD, PO, that's the tape right there.
This is mine.
That's her tape. You picked up the wrong one.
I'm looking for my tape recorder.
Hers is a Maxell.
I'm sorry, ours were the same.
Can I see?
Yeah.
Let me see my.
He was watching mine.
It ended up there and it disappeared.
Good old Kathy.
I know it's my machine.
Make it by digital.
Is it at the end? Does it need
It's
to
all
be turned?
screwed up. No.
She turned it over.
Oh,
So you don't do the other side.
Okay, we do this now.
Okay, we're going to get started again. Discussion's good here. As far as
They look the same.
as far as what I suggest, silence, please. No more comments. What I suggested to eat is in the archives of my newsletters, the Primal Dad newsletters for chemtrails. Okay, didn't I put that in there? Okay. All right. Do you have a question?
Talk about your observations on the difference between fresh milk and old milk.
Fresh milk and what?
Old milk.
Just remember, old milk is always better. Because just like in the high meat and all of that, it's breaking down. It doesn't taste as nice and as fresh and as delicious unless you put honey in it as soon as you get it home. My milk, most of the time, I put my honey in as soon as I get home. I'll take because I drink like a half gallon or a little bit more than a half gallon a day in the summertime when it's hot because I don't drink water. And I'll take about 16-ounce glass canning jar. I'll put about 12 ounces or 10 ounces of milk in it and about 6 ounces of honey in that. And then I blend that and then pour a little bit into all of my half gallons. So I'll have about 6 to 8 half gallons of milk. So I put a little bit in each one. Of course, I have to pour out a little every one and then pour that into it. And then it stays sweet even if it goes off and the bacteria is growing in it.
You put it in the refrigerator?
You can put it, yes, I do put it in the refrigerator. However, a day or two before I'm going to drink it, I put it in a dark cupboard out of the refrigerator because I like to have tea first.
I'm sorry, you put it in the refrigerator
right if you put the
Okay, let me start it over again. I take the milk home. I take a little out of each container. I put it in a jar. I blend about 2 tablespoons of honey per quart of milk.
half gallon per quart.
No,
Takes
per
a
quart.
little bit out of each half gallon.
2 tablespoons of honey per quart. So that's 4 tablespoons of honey per half gallon. So I pour that much into each half gallon. I put it in the refrigerator. If I put some in the cupboard immediately, and I have some left from the day before, because I like my milk 24 hours or more old before I drink it. In fact, I like it thick, like kefir, and sometimes that takes up to 2 days. So that's the way I will have it.
Isn't the honey antibacterial though?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't act as an antibacterial in milk. In fact, it encourages the Lactobacillus acidophilus to be more active than the Bulgarius and Caucasus. If you don't put honey in it, the Caucasus and mainly the Bulgarius will be more active. That's to break down the fats and the proteins. So that's why it becomes bitter or tart even. You know, when you put the honey in it, it encourages the acidophilus to grow. It is antibacterial to an extent with the Caucasus and Bulgarius, but it doesn't destroy it completely.
And when it's to the point where you can separate the whey out of it, would you use the whey for anything?
I'll just reblend it and then drink it that way, unless it's too acidic. If it starts causing my mouth to get a little stingy and burn or my tongue to get sore, then I'll just separate it and make cheese with it.
What I found interesting about the old milk, I don't know if anybody knows, but you test the ORP of it, the oxygen reduction potential, and you see the millivolts in it. And the old milk, it's pretty amazing.
Yep.
But there's a certain point though. It's kind of goes down to like 400, and then it starts going back up again. So at that point, which is about 5 or 6 days, I've noticed it's got so many electrons in it. It's amazing.
Okay, this gentleman back here, forgot your name.
Stop. No, I'm fine. I'm just actually taking it.
Do you want a question? Do you have a question? No? Okay. Do you have a question?
Dehydrating the meat a little for the kids, what's that going to do to it?
If what?
Dehydrating the meat a little.
Okay, if you dehydrate the meat, you lose your enzymes and a lot of the ability to utilize your proteins and digest in general.
So beef jerky is
So
bad.
beef jerky is terrible. But if he wants to let his meat dry a little bit, it's not going to be that bad. Just eat a little honey with it to add some enzymes. Yeah, they'll just leave it out on a plate. They do a lot at Pangai in Hawaii. A lot of those people don't like the fresh tasting meat. They like it slightly dried.
You could run a fan over it, right? Like a cool fan?
Yeah, but still, when you're dehydrating it, you're losing the electromagnetic energy, the field of energy of that food. It's like the Indians. Every year, the Eskimos and the Inuit and the Canadian Indians will make a pemmican. They'll dry meat, beat it until it becomes a flour, and then mix it with some kind of a lard. Whether it's some buffalo, seal, whatever they have available, and they bake it in the sun till it melts together. And then they press it into a 90-pound cake, a cube. And they will keep that throughout the whole winter in case they can't find any food for the hunt. If they don't need to eat it, whatever they don't eat during the winter, they bury it in the spring. They don't eat it. Even though they've gone to all this great lengths to have this dried meat and go through this whole process, it is just for survival. They know that it will leach enzymes and lots of properties out of the body and will weaken the body. So they bury it. They will not eat it. They only eat it if they're starving.
Same thing for cheese, if you dehydrate the cheese.
No, the cheese is medicinal. It does. You lose the ability to digest it, but it acts as a magnet. As it goes through, it even starts in the mouth. As your bloodstream, your neurological system, and your lymph system moves throughout the entire intestinal walls and digestive tract walls, the cheese acts as a magnet and will draw poisons out of those three fluid systems.
If you leave that cheese out and dry it, it doesn't change the properties of the cheese. I like to take this organic pastures cheese, it's kind of wet, leave it out, it becomes dry, kind of.
Yeah.
It tastes better actually, right?
Yeah, the drier it is, the more it will be absorbent.
Okay.
The less you will digest of it. So that acts as a magnet and a sponge and will carry toxins out through the fecal matter. If you eat honey in your mouth in the same mouth bite with cheese, the cheese will digest because you're adding enzymes to it that are lost by dehydration. So if you need a good mineral supplement, you don't go to rock, some mineral supplement, it's rock. Plants eat rock. We don't eat rock. So you take a mineral supplement that's rock, you're not going to digest it. You're not a plant. It's the most absurd thing in the world. I see tons of people with rusting iron, iodine, patina copper in their systems because they're taking these supplements. And it's ludicrous. You take cheese and honey and eat them together in your mouth at the same time. Don't think that eating something with honey in it, like if you're having a milkshake with honey in it and you have cheese with the milkshake, no, the honey's already working on the fats in the milkshake. They combine immediately. So eating something with honey in it and eating the cheese with it will not help the cheese digest.
So what is cheese?
Honey and the cheese has to be together in your mouth at the same time. Then you will digest the minerals in the cheese and it will be a concentrated mineral supplement.
You're talking about any cheese or dried cheese? Are you talking about any cheese?
Any cheese. The drier it is, the less it will digest. The fewer bioactive enzymes. Remember, a lot of people say, oh, I've got live enzymes. Hello? Enzymes aren't alive. They're protein structures. There's no nucleus. There's no respiratory system in them. There's no eating system. They dissolve depending upon the protein. It can be a building enzyme. It can be a dissolving enzyme. There are different kinds of enzymes.
So what's the proper terminology for a living enzyme?
No, bioactive. Bioactive enzymes. Okay.
What about moldy cheese?
Moldy cheese, I scrape the outer white layer off because that all the spores in it, and you can get too much mycelium generating in your system, and you can get very lethargic.
Don't know moldy.
Call a lot of tired. Yes, you can eat moldy cheese. Just scrape the white top off.
Is cottage cheese count as cheese, or is that more like a kefir?
It's more like a cheese.
So same thing applies to cottage cheese.
Right.
Okay.
It's just that because there's still some of its fluid in it, you will have some bioactive enzymes in cottage cheese that you won't have in dried cheese. Yes, Laura.
Amos's cheese has been very soft for the last few months. When I first got it from him a year or two ago, it used to be quite hard. Well, not hard, but much firmer. What do you think about the very soft cheese? You can almost bend it. And is it any better, or what is it working in how's it working in our body when it's very soft? I mean, it's just like butter.
Yeah. Well, it depends on what cheese you're getting, what kind of cheese.
Baby Swiss.
Yeah, baby Swiss.
Jack was like it too last time. It is so soft.
I don't know why you're getting it that way, because I get the same cheese here and it's not that soft. I mean, it's soft, but it's not that soft.
Well,
it's not creamy.
Different farmers.
Yeah, it's not his.
Yeah, it's not his.
It's not
We
his.
buy the 5-pound block, and so it comes in a
Well,
plastic.
where are you getting it?
From Amos.
But it's not his.
That's no. Amos doesn't make any cheese. He has several people making cheese for him. Eli King is one of them. Is his main cheese maker.
And so, who do you like?
I buy that same cheese.
But what name?
What's the name?
Eli.
It's Eli's. Eli's products that send them. But some of the cheeses that he has, I haven't gotten any of the baby Swiss that's like mush, but some of the others, it just means that it hasn't been aged 60 days. Some of the mold is still breaking it down.
I kept mine for 2 months and it's just the same.
Well, you have to leave it out of the refrigerator to do that. Okay. Or you have to leave it out of the package in the refrigerator.
Okay.
So it will dry. If you keep it in the plastic, it's not going to make a bit of a difference. No.
What you're saying would be that the harder cheese, actually, the softers are better for you, or they're not?
Depends on what you need. If you need the molds to help break down toxicity in your body, then the softer cheeses are better. If you need a magnet and a sponge to bind with toxicity and then remove it from your body, a harder cheese is better.
So which is the harder cheese? Farmer's cheese?
Farmer's cheese is soft. The dry cheeses, the brick cheeses.
Cheddar is hard.
Cheddar, yeah. Jack. Any of those. Okay. All right, let's see. Barbara.
This is a stupid question in some ways, and yet it's going to be asked a lot. So I wanted to ask it. It's coming out on the internet now, and it's been used in Africa. There's a product called MMS. Have you heard of it? Mm-hmm. Miracle Mineral Supplement. Mm-hmm. And from reading about it, they're saying it's chlorine dioxide is actually dichlorine oxide. It's got 2 chlorine molecules to the oxygen. And they've been curing hepatitis, AIDS, malaria, and cancers, and many other things with it. And already they've stopped them using it in Africa because the drug companies have said they will not give any more money and aid to Africa if they allow it to come into the country anymore. Now it's been coming into this country, and it's coming from Canada and other places. It seems a miracle, but to me, having known what chlorine is like, but they do say that when the chlorine is released with the vinegar or the lemon juice or citric acid, the waste product becomes sodium and chlorine, so just mixes with it. So I'm not sure. I'm wondering if you knew about it and whether you could help us, because if this is such a miracle in those third world countries, does it mean that it's all right for us, or is it going to kill all the organisms in our body as well as the bad ones?
Okay, go back to what I said in the recipe book. 72% of all diseases will reverse on their own, all conditions.
Right.
All these people take claims that their product caused these reversals when it's a natural process of the body healing itself. Somebody gets a disease, they take that product, their body's in the process of healing itself anyway. That product has nothing to do with them healing.
Even with malaria that takes us 2 days, which would normally take weeks and weeks and months, and hepatitis?
We don't see enough of those. I've read the literature, and not enough cases proves that to me. A lot of people will heal in a few days with malaria. People who live in the jungle heal very rapidly. A whitey, one of us, white bread people, go down there, not me, I won't get it. I don't even get malaria, even if I drink, water that's been hacked into by somebody with malaria, because I've done it. But the average person who's on the standard American diet, goes down there and gets malaria, their malaria is going to do a lot of cleansing for a very long time. So they may keep malaria a couple of months. But your native isn't going to keep it long at all.
Why is somebody dying of it then?
They don't die of it, they die of the treatment. They die of the penicillin, or the amoxicillin, whatever, or the Cipro that they're getting to handle it, or the Flaxol. Whatever they're getting, that is poisoning them. You have to understand, the whole new generation believes the crap that they're told on TV. Bacteria is your enemy.
Yep.
It's your cause for disease, and all this new generation buys it everywhere in the world. And they're indoctrinating these people because guess what? General Electric and these companies are supplying TVs. Now, I took a motorcycle and went out all through Cambodia where there's nothing but people in grass huts, grass skirts, or their normal skirts, and they don't have much clothes on, and they're kicking around a thatched ball. They don't have anything, but yet everybody's got a frickin' TV in their grass hut and electricity going to it. They make 50 cents a day. The family makes 50 cents a day. How are they paying for this TV? Most of them don't have a refrigerator. The electricity is just to run the TV. Because what do they learn on TV?
Buy
Drugs and junk food. Drugs and junk food. And in Thailand, you have 20 commercials every half hour. You have 16 to 17 minutes of commercials for every 12 minutes of programming.
Wow.
And half of it is drug related. So they're teaching these people that you don't trust the human body, that everything is wrong because it's of your body, and trust chemicals.
So the MMS, is it useless? Is it a toxic product to put in your body?
Again, it's a mineral. It's mine. It's for plants. If you got an average person who is very toxic and they mix it with some lemon or lime and have it, it's going to act like an antibiotic in a way because of the high chlorine. It's going to destroy some of their body's ability to cleanse itself. Is that good?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think in the long run it is. For the short term it is, because then they get rid of their symptoms. Then a malaria-like symptom or disease will come up later. Then how do they treat it? They just keep treating it so the person gets older and feeble longer. You know, so and they may not live as long, and they probably won't live as long.
And that was my feeling, but I wanted to run it past you.
Do you have a question?
Yes. You advised me, instead of doing the sauna, to get a hot tub. So I've done some research and found one that wasn't too expensive, and but now you just blew my theory about the ozone. Yes, most of them come with the ozone.
But so you can have them, don't put the ozone.
Tell me, okay, it holds 120 gallons of water, right? So tell me how to treat that so we can take a bath.
You've got a problem with that unit. You've got the motor under the unit, in the unit. You've got to have that motor 3 feet away from you. It generates EMFs. If you're going to have that thing...
You're going to be sitting in it.
Yep, and you have that generator on, heating the whole time, and your jet's going the whole time,
Is he willing
that
to
EMF's
work with
going to
us?
hit you. Pardon?
Is that guy willing to work with us? He emailed you.
Well, he just emailed me the information, all the stuff that you just told me, but I haven't asked him what he will do to change it.
Okay, well,
but see, he sells the whole unit. The whole unit's intact. It's made the way it is. Not going to work.
What am I to get then? I mean, the other spas are the same damn thing. The motor is on the bottom. So,
well,
I mean,
you just have to get a separate pool guy to make a separate compartment and put extra hoses.
So
it won't be all contained in one.
Take the whole
motor unit out. Anything that generates an electrical charge.
Do you know anybody that has one that can do this? That we can have?
I had somebody build mine. I told them how I wanted it built, and they built it.
How far away?
Yeah, how far?
Well, I've got mine 10 feet.
Yeah, but this EMF from a 2-horse motor? Come on.
It's only 3 feet.
What? Have it 3 feet away?
You got to be 3 feet away.
Okay, that's one issue. Now, I mean, I didn't even think of that issue, but okay, you were talking about that they have an ozone generator in the unit. Now you're saying that's no good. So how am I going to clean the water to go in it every night instead of using my bathtub? Because I want to get well, but I need to have that temperature hot so I don't have to do the bath all the time. Is what you told me, so I can do it 6-7 days a week. I mean, I'm trying to make this easy for myself.
You're not going. It's not going to be easy.
Well, I'm trying to at least have it there and available. I mean, you told me to get the hot tub. So I'm trying
I
to
said
look
get
for
a
one.
hot tub. I said you can get a hot tub, but you're going to have to rearrange it depending
Okay.
upon the hot tub.
All right, so tell me how to do that.
I just told you.
You put the motor aside, but you didn't tell me how do I clean the water. We don't put
ozone
ozone
doesn't
in it.
clean the water;
Okay.
it just keeps the
tell me
algae from growing.
Tell me what we put in it so we can keep it in the water in there for 4 to 6 months and not have the pipes have some kind of film on it or whatever we have to worry about. I don't know anything about this, so.
You'd have to have an electrical chlorinator.
So you're saying that's the only thing that would work.
That's if you want it small and compact, that's the only way it's going to work.
Does that create an EMF field?
Pardon?
The electrical chlorinator, does it create EMFs?
Well, the electrical chlorinator isn't right there. It goes through a system. So the water goes through that system where the charge is and sends the water back in.
So that has to be separate also?
Well, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, with
have
the
to
whole,
heat it.
with the motor and
Anything anything that has a motor, you're going to have to.
And how far away should it be?
Should be about 3 feet.
At least 3 feet. Okay.
The only way you'll know for sure is you get a EMF field meter and you test it and see how far it goes to where it's 0.
Okay. And that electric chlorinator is going to be sufficient not to use any other, and I don't know, I've talked to pool guys and it's either, they say the ozone works 80% and then you have to shock the system with either hydrogen peroxide or some kind of nature 2 enzymes or non-chlorinated crap.
This is getting way too complex.
Okay.
And this is
But I'm
too
just
complex of an issue
All right.
to take up here. So you'll have to call me for the rest of it. Okay?
Can I just ask you about a jacuzzi tub when it comes to that? That you're not supposed to use a jacuzzi tub?
Jacuzzi tub's fine.
Where's the motor on the jacuzzi tub?
Usually it's about 1.5 feet, 2 feet away.
And that's okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what you could do is turn it on while you have a low amount of water in it and see where your EMF field is. If it's at one corner, you just keep your feet away from that edge.
Why not turn it off when
What would you put in the water?
That's true, but some people like the jets, the air jets. But that would be the thing to do, is turn it off.
Well, I usually do
Then-
have it off,
then you
but I
could
was
get a
wondering
regular-
if I shouldn't have it on at all.
hot tub maybe?
Uh-huh.
You just turn it off when you're in it?
Just check the EMF.
I don't know.
It seems like the simplest solution.
It's cooler though in the winter.
But then when you have to heat it every few minutes to keep that temperature regulated, you're going to be in it. Yeah. If you get out of it, then your body's going to cool down and it won't work.
Shea butter is a natural organic.
Wait a minute. You had a question
That's my
that's separate from what we have. We're going to get to you.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, all right, you.
Dr. Charles Porter at the Mayo, I'm sure you've heard about this, at the Mayo Clinic wrote a book called, I haven't read it yet, I just found out about it, called The All Milk or the Milk Diet, where he, this is what I've heard. that
This
he
is
refers-
this is
what
an
do you
old
think of
book.
that?
This is from
Yeah, it's very old.
1925.
What do you
30.
think of a milk diet as opposed to, let's say, an all-milk diet or a milk diet where you have chronic disease and you're trying to reverse the chronic diseases being diabetes, and he said asthma, diabetes, blah, blah, as opposed to something where you have milk and meat. Would a milk diet be fine?
No. In some cases, it will be. But it depends upon the individual and the type
Drinking only milk.
of problems in the body.
You're talking about raw milk, though.
Yeah, raw milk. We're talking about an all raw milk diet. She's asking, can a raw milk diet cure diseases? Yes, it can cure some, definitely. It's cured emphysema, tuberculosis, diabetes of all sorts. So yes, it's possible.
And that's just raw milk. That's no vegetables.
No, that's nothing else but just a raw milk diet.
What if you used raw milk instead of as your meat? In other words, you had your
Doesn't work.
vegetables and
If you're very skinny, you've been a vegetarian, a raw milk diet isn't going to work for you.
I don't mean an all raw milk diet.
No.
I mean just a diet where instead of eating, let's say, eggs or meat and stuff, you substitute so all that type of stuff like eggs and meat and all your animal products are milk or butter fat. Or
I just
body
said,
fat.
no,
It
it doesn't work. No.
Any reason?
What's
the reason?
I don't know the reason.
Just doesn't.
It just doesn't, yeah. Joe, do you have a question?
I just wanted to ask you about shea butter as something that you could put on your skin to keep you from drying out.
Shea butter is processed butter.
They say it's natural.
It's all processed. Completely processed.
How do they process it?
Well, they usually pasteurize it, and then they steam it in some circumstances, and then they spin it to get the fluid out of it so it will cake.
They tell us it's just stirred in the hot sun in Africa. It's collected in Africa and stirred in the hot sun.
Yeah, well, if you believe that, that's a good one, because it isn't. Nope. That's the way they used to make it. That's the old way of making it. But the butter, when you get shea butter like that, it is very foul, smelling and tasting. It tastes like eating, really ripe, strong buffalo meat. And no, I've never smelled any shea butter like that in this country. It's all highly processed.
I mean, the natural one smells like you said.
The natural one smells foul. It almost smells like ozonated olive oil, but not putrid.
You say a milk diet without meat doesn't work very well. How does a vegan diet work without any of those things, without milk, eggs?
Very few people do well on a vegetarian. I've only met 8 people out of 3,200 that did well on vegetarian.
How do they do it?
I don't know why vegans seem to have a big raw food contingent.
Yep. But it's all pretty new. It's all pretty new. I mean, David Fox, all of them. They're all pretty new. David's only been on the diet 7.5 years, and most people hit the wall at 7. But he has a high. All in those 8 people had high adrenal activity, thyroid, and testosterone levels. Even the one female that I knew fit into that category. But she started deteriorating her spine at 36 years old. The other men that I knew, the 8 of them, their spines started deteriorating in their 50s and 60s.
Are you talking about David Wolf?
I just talked about David Wolf. Yeah. So David Wolf has just started eating dairy, and I'm not supposed to be telling people. One of the people who works for him called me and said, guess what? Everybody in New York City's changing. We're going to your diet. We're having bone loss. We're having a lot of problems. David Wolf, I even saw him eating cheese the other day.
Raw cheese.
Chocolate.
Pardon? No, she was already on the diet, and she was doing her meat around him in the closet.
Come out.
Pardon?
Come out of the closet.
No, she does. She won't come out of the closet because he's a fanatic. He doesn't admit that he's eating the cheese. She saw him eat it.
He's a true believer.
The cheese is not really a meat, it's still a dairy with it. The animals are not dead.
It's not vegan.
But it's not vegan. He advertises no dairy.
Yeah.
What do I do?
So now he's eating cheese because his spine's starting to go, or he's getting very demineralized. He's feeling very nervous and shaky, not calm. That's right. He's eating a lot of that stuff. All of that super food stuff is dehydrated garbage. It's going to de-enzyme the body. Okay, do you have a question?
Yes. You were talking earlier about putting coconut cream in your eye for a particular condition, which I don't have, but my eyes are deteriorating. My eyesight isn't as good, and I was wondering maybe that would just help in general.
Egg white. If you're getting scar tissue or you're getting layers on your cornea, then the coconut cream and the lime will work. But if you just need protein to strengthen the cornea so it doesn't misshape, you just put egg white in the eye. The people who put egg white in their eye 2 to 3 times a day usually lose 10 to 30% of their prescription per year, reduces. Wow. But they do it 2 to 3 times a day. The people who do it once a day, it may take 2-3 years for them to decrease 10%.
How much one eye sees further than the other, all that stuff? I have no idea about the shape or
Yeah.
what's
Well,
causing
that's
it.
what causes it.
The shape is
one,
changing?
One, the conication gives you far-sighted vision, and the one that flattens gives you nearsighted vision. So.
Are you saying you can use egg white for any eye problems or only?
Any eye problem. Yeah.
But how much? And
What I do is what I tell people to do is take, the egg white and put a little dab on the little finger, or this finger, usually the little one, and you just get a little bubble of egg white on there. You pull the lid down, you look up, and you just rub it along the bottom of the white of the eye. And then you open both of them, and then you roll your eye like a circus master and get it all over coated. And then you close your eye, and that's it. You may be a little foggy for about 2 or 3 minutes. It looks like you're going through some foggy water there a little bit. It clears pretty quickly.
For how long?
Again, raise your hand if you got a question. Yes. Cataracts, that'll help. Cataracts, I would use both. Coconut cream and the lime juice, and I would alternate them using the egg white in the eye for cataracts. Yes.
So the egg white, how long do you use that? You have quite a bit of an egg white. Do you use it?
I eat the rest of the egg white. I'm eating eggs all day long, so
Yes,
you
we
can always
get it.
take one
Yes.
of your egg whites and do it in
Exactly.
the diet.
Okay, well, some of us can't eat eggs all day long.
Yeah.
So, how long do you keep putting your finger in it? And I'm just assuming that at some point contaminates the egg white.
If I do it, I eat an egg, I use it, and then eat the egg.
Yeah.
That's it. And the next time I use another egg, I can do it again if I want.
Yeah, that's what I do
You mean
too.
a dirty egg white? Is that what you're worried about? The dirt on your finger?
Well, you use it because I don't eat eggs. They don't like me that well. So, I don't eat that many. So I don't have, so I have an egg white that I would use consistently because I've done that before.
Well, then I would suggest you take one of those little, 1 ounce or half ounce little containers, put a little egg white in there and close it.
Yeah.
Oh, and just
Keep it from oxidizing.
Oh, so it's
Yeah.
reoxidizing.
Yeah.
We're just using quail egg.
Pardon? What about it?
Same thing, egg white or something?
I would use a combination for that. Because that's always the scarring. How do you pronounce it? Keratoconus.
What is that?
It's a scarring of the inner layer of the cornea or right on the iris itself.
I've got an egg white method I've been using for the last few months. What I do is, before I go to bed and when I get up in the middle of the night, I always use some eggs. I get an 8-ounce jar, I crack the jar in the egg. I stick my fingers in the egg white and I just keep my eyes open a slit and I just rub it all over it. Kind of keep them slit and I down the egg. And then when I get up in 3 or 4 hours, I do the same thing. I do an egg and I stick my fingers in there. I just keep my eyes open a slit and down the egg. It's much faster than doing that Aajonus. I could never get around to that, but
Most people won't like that egg white all over their eyelashes and everything.
I'm single, I live alone, so I don't have to worry about
So you're not worried about your cakey white all over, the dry cakey white, because you will have that.
When it comes off in the shower, if you take a shower in the morning.
Okay, Jim.
What would you suggest for teeth whitening?
Plain coconut cream.
Well, Terramin clay with coconut cream is the best thing you can do. But just remember, the teeth are discolored. If you don't drink tea and you're not drinking coffee and you're not smoking, most of the discoloration is coming from the brain through the nerve. And the toxins are coming out. Penicillin is one of the greatest. Tetracycline is another one. Tetracycline turns the teeth gray. Cocaine turns the teeth gray from the inside out. So almost all discoloration comes from the inside out. So no matter how much you brush and try to whiten, unless you put peroxide on there like they whiten teeth with, but that damages the dentine about 5 to 10 layers in. So you're damaging your dentine, you're more likely to have cavities.
So you're saying use the clay like a toothpaste?
Yes. Use it with coconut cream.
Yeah.
Once a week?
That'll help get rid of any stain that is a stain from food or from bacteria collecting, eating the food, or the toxins that are coming from the brain, and the body has used minerals to bind with them, to cake on it. That's what plaque is. Plaque is toxins from the brain dumping out of the gums, and the body using concentrated minerals to coat those to keep them from damaging the dentine. And that is plaque. And if you leave that plaque on too long, the toxins like the mercury, the thallium, the lead that comes out of the brain will eat through that. It will dominate even a massive amount of alkalinizing minerals and get through and damage the dentine. So you still have to remove plaque. If you use coconut cream, and lemon juice once in a while with some carbonated water, it'll break down the plaque.
Toothpaste is bad.
How often do we do this?
Very bad.
The clay.
Pardon?
How often do you brush with the clay, coconut?
Whenever
cream?
you want. It's like jeweler's rouge.
Coconut cream and lime juice.
I do give me
Lemon? I said lemon? Yeah.
Is there anything you could do to remineralize a decalcified area that's going too far into like the whole?
It's very difficult to remineralize a cavity unless you're very young. I've never seen anybody over 27 years old do it.
So you have to have it filled? Because I'm getting the area right around the gingiva.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's happening. Is that because it's all the toxins?
All the
pulling
toxins,
out,
yep.
And there's no way to.
And you've got to brush every day.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
With
coconut cream.
Coconut cream and the clay. Putting the clay on at night.
I wouldn't put clay on at night.
You said to roll a little.
I said just if you have an infection. If you've got an abscess and you've got pus coming out, you put that in there, not as a regular thing on the teeth, because that'll demineralize the teeth.
More?
Yeah, it'll demineralize it more.
Why?
The clay does?
The clay will, if you leave it on the tooth.
Why would it demineralize them?
Because it's drying, it keeps drawing out.
But you're wet in your mouth.
Pardon?
That's when it works. She says you're wet in your mouth, so.
You're wet in your mouth, but you know how absorbent clay is?
Yeah.
It's continuously absorbent.
I thought it'd be pulling out the mercury and heavy metals that are in your mouth.
Yeah, but if you leave it in there thickly on your gums, it's going to demineralize your dentine.
We talked about that before, and I thought that was something you were quite happy about.
No. I'm happy with you, brushing your teeth with the clay, as long as you have some kind of a fat with it, especially the coconut cream, especially fermented coconut cream. But I'm not happy about leaving clay on the teeth very often.
But you just said people didn't like to do it because they look messy. That was all. I remember discussing it. We discussed it.
Yeah, I remember.
But it wasn't about leaving a lot of clay on the teeth.
Okay.
Because it will demineralize the tooth.
So what's the best thing to fill it with?
Raise the hand. Yes.
It has clay, butter, and apple cider vinegar.
Yeah.
I mix that up. I brush my teeth with it every night. It's a small amount of clay. Now, is that safe?
That's fine. That's one of the recipes in my book.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, what's the safest filling
Which
material? The safest filling material for tooth filling?
It all depends upon your body. Some people are sensitive to some things. It's mainly, though, the adhesive that they use, the epoxy, that has the biggest reaction. And they use very toxic epoxies, and you have to find mild epoxy. The problem with the mild epoxies is that they'll pop out quicker. But they also allow the teeth to grow, the tubules to regrow. Now, I've got a facial that I have to have replaced about every year and a half because it grows out. The tooth is regrowing underneath, so it's pushing the filling outward. So it's got this whole big filling that's coming out that's misshaped. And then I have it filed down, but when I have it filed down, then it pops out, so then I have to have it refilled. But the teeth is healing. But it's taken me this long to get to this place where my teeth are actually starting to regenerate.
Oh, you can regenerate.
It's taken me 40 years to get here. So. Yes. This is about teeth still?
Yeah.
Okay.
Two things: receding gums, and then the
This is. We're getting into now the whole area of that.
So, the other thing I was going to say is I had read about an olive oil cleanse for the teeth, and I wonder if you know about that. Where you have a tablespoon of olive oil and you swish it around for 3 minutes, and you spit it out. 2 minutes, you throw it down. That routine. Do you know anything about that, or how do you feel about it?
It works.
It works.
Any kind of fat, it just isn't olive oil. It's any fat. You swish it around in your mouth. The gums. Remember, the gums are the major detoxifiers for the brain. The gum, the tongue, and the salivary glands. So you've got that oil in there. It's all in the mechanism already. When you have that fat swishing around, it's going to dump. It's like when a baby suckles the teat or a nipple on a bottle, heavy toxins come from the brain into the mouth and go down in with the milk to detoxify it. But that's a tremendous mineral loss for the baby. But yet it's protecting the baby's brain.
How much oil do you put in?
Yes.
How much oil do you use?
A holistic dentist in Peru
Yeah.
just told me that the whole dentistry issue is pretty much a myth. That actually the amalgams are not poisoning anyone.
The amalgams, very little poisoning from amalgams. The major poisoning of mercury comes from vaccines and injections. Very little mercury comes from the teeth. You can damage, though. It does cause a lot of damage directly in the nerve to that tooth. But it doesn't cause all the total disease that a lot of dentists are claiming.
Even the vapor coming off it?
When the mercury vaporizes, it crystallizes. So it's a very finite crystal. It is not a liquid mercury like in vaccines and injections. So it isn't that harmful, except as it stays in the nerve in the tooth. And it will damage the tooth all the way up into the brain.
Any advice for hearing loss?
Pardon?
Hearing loss.
Hearing loss. My father got mad at me. I was autistic, so I didn't know what the hell anything was being said anyway. And he says, I told you to listen to me. He popped both of my eardrums. So I lost 60% in hearing in one and 40% in the other. And now I've got 80% in one and 80% in the other. So it does generate, but I've never found anything to generate it fast. Unless you use a hot water bottle near your ear. When you leave it there, because the passages into that network are very finite, so there's not much circulation in there. The only way you can force more nutrients to heal the ear drum in that area is to put a hot water bottle near that area and then put a towel over your head and over that ear to generate heat for several hours a night into that area. And that will speed, as long as you're on a good diet, that will speed it. Okay, wait a minute, we're going here. Did you question yet?
Yeah, no. I've been on the diet a little over a year, and I go to the doctor for the regular tests, and one of the blood tests, I've never had this problem before. I just had it redone after I saw you the last time. So I'm showing pre-diabetes with very high sugar, and I do notice that sometimes when I eat certain things, I feel my heart rate going really fast, and of course I'm eating the dairy and the honey and all that, and I started cutting down on the honey, but I wondered if there's any other...
Okay. Is that all the symptom you're having?
The palpitations and... I don't know. I didn't feel right before I did it, and I was wondering because I didn't have sugar for like 20, 30 years before I went on your diet. So now I'm having sugar, and my body doesn't seem to.
But that's not a diabetic reaction. The diabetic reaction is spacing out, getting very weak, getting dizzy, blacking out. I had diabetes. I know what diabetic symptoms are.
So what's that like?
Heart palpitation, that can come from minerals, heavy metals getting into the blood at one time. The heart does not want to let it settle, so it pumps the blood fast through there, hoping some minerals in the digestive tract will attract them out of it.
So what's the pre-diabetes test that he's saying I have?
That pre-diabetes will make almost 80% of the people who get their test done look diabetic or pre-diabetic. It's meant to do that, to get you thinking, oh, I'm going diabetic, maybe I should end up taking diabetic medicine, insulin later. And then,
I mean, I'm not going, but I wanted to know if there's anything I should or shouldn't do with the diet. You're saying never mind.
Yeah. If you're having heart palpitations like that, you drink cream. I have it if I have a juice in the morning. If I have more than 8 ounces, my heart will go like this. I'll get a little sugar reaction, but it's not a diabetic reaction. It doesn't mean I'm not utilizing my sugars. I'm utilizing too many sugars, which is the opposite of diabetes. Plus all the minerals that are pulled out. So I'll put it either an egg in my juice or a little cream in it the next day. But it only happens to be first thing in the morning, 1 out of 15 days. And if I can tell it's going to happen, I'll put my egg in it and cream in it, and then I don't even worry about it the next day.
Wouldn't it help her to drop weight, though, instead of giving her pre-diabetic? Saying she's pre-diabetic, doesn't it help usually to drop weight if she's
diabetes?
Usually to drop weight if she...
Diabetes is reversed by having a proper fat.
Oh, I don't say she should eat no fat. I'm just saying that her body weight in general
It wouldn't have anything to do with diabetes or sugar.
So just
trying to understand. So the honey obviously isn't the problem when it comes to this at all. But this is the second time in a row that this test is shown that way, and I sometimes feel hyper after I drink the milkshake that I have with the banana. I can start to feel.
How much honey do you put in that milkshake?
Well, I think it was a teaspoon and a quarter. I think that's what I've been putting in, something like that.
But I mean, it was more than that. I think you said a teaspoon or quarter after that. And sometimes after I drink it, and of course milk, and I'm drinking the kefir before I go to sleep. It's also with honey in it.
Milk, if you've had a lot of adrenaline overreaction in your lifetime, and you start drinking milk, you're going to react like a baby, because that whole nervous system needs to relax. Eat and sleep, eat and sleep. Honey does the same thing. It is so healing so rapidly that the body just wants to use all of its energy to relax the nervous system. So that's why you go into sleepiness. It's not a diabetic reaction. Diabetic reaction is spacing out, getting dizzy, blacking out, getting very dizzy. You stand up and everything goes black, and you're trying to hold on to nothing so you don't pass out and break your head or nose or teeth. That's a diabetic reaction. Yes.
I was so sensitive to sugar, and I thought with this diet that honey was going to be a problem for me. And then as I've learned more about my body and understanding the food I'm eating, the honey is incredible. It has nothing to do with sugar. It's not that comparing apples and oranges. But with my old way of thinking, I can understand everything.
However, you do get highly heated honeys, you will get a sugar reaction. Because the bee collects the nectar. The nectar, once it, the worker bee swallows the nectar, pre-digests it. It makes an insulin-like substance which converts 90% of the carbohydrate into enzymes for digesting mainly proteins and then fats. And then when it gets back to the hive, it vomits. So that's what honey is. It's regurgitated, pre-digested flower nectar. So it's, as long as it isn't heated over 92.8 degrees, 93 degrees, the insulin factor that it builds, or insulin-like factor that it builds, that produces and adds to the nectar, is not destroyed until it goes up to 93 degrees. And the higher it goes, the more destruction there is and the more sugar reaction you're going to have from honey. You have a question about honey?
No, it was, no.
Okay.
It was about demineralization. We were on that a while back ago, but you didn't pick me, so I didn't.
Demineralization for
Well,
what?
I was thinking for a vegan like David Wolf, or people that have been on a vegan diet for a very long time, can they reverse whatever damage may have occurred? Can they start to eat meat and milk
Yes.
and then reverse that damage completely? Or
Well,
is it
yeah, they take time.
So they
Take a
can't-
lot of
they
time.
can't
Absolutely,
reverse it.
yeah.
Okay, so it's reversible.
Yeah.
Good.
Depends upon how far they let it go before they do something about it.
How do they know that things are going wrong? How would somebody like that know things are
Well,
starting
the
to go
woman who came to me at 37 with that problem, her back was starting to curve over like this. Most of them start curving over like that. One man, he was 74, 75 when he started having back problems. He started eating raw meat. You know? And this was a man who was into hygiene. He was a hygienist. Only ate fruit, raw fruit, lots of fasting. All of a sudden, man, his spine started going in a flash.
I know the teeth are.
Yeah. Do you have a question? Jim? Okay. John?
Yeah, I found, I've been on the raw diet about 7 years, as you know, and I'm going through sinus detoxifications and so on. But one thing that hasn't really been resolved is that my body, I was very active in my 20s and 30s physically, and if I don't exercise regularly, you know, and my muscles just go tight. If I don't stretch, go to the gym, exercise, they just like get really tight where they pull my bones out of place. Is there any kind of dietary recommendations to address that?
Just remember, like you said to him, that's a mineralization. It's a crystallizing of old cauterized minerals in the body. It takes 40 years to get all those out of the system. You know, the bones are the last things, and it takes 5 generations of bones to do that. It's almost 40 years. So when you, every day you're cleaning some of those out. And if they get stuck in the muscles, you're going to get stiff.
Okay. So what are you supposed to do to get back? It can just gradually go?
No, what I said was you have to use coconut cream to help dissolve those minerals. And eating the lubrication formula will keep you lubricated.
What amounts of coconut cream would you recommend then? Because I don't really eat very much of that.
For you, I would recommend 6 ounces a day.
Okay.
You're 6'3", right? 6'4", yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you could have more. You could probably have up to 8 ounces a day. Wow.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I've been doing raw eggs every half an hour the last 4 weeks. And since then I've been 100%. But I'm not doing as much butter and cream since I've been doing this way. And I want to do a lot of butter, especially butter. Where do I fit that in there? I mean, I do the custard at night time, but during the day when I'm doing all these eggs, how can I have cream and butter with it?
Are you doing it just to lose the weight, all the eggs, and bring your digestion up to par?
Well, I couldn't get into. I was always hungry, and I couldn't afford the meat all the time. So I thought this way I could do it by having egg every half an hour, so I can. And since then, I have no desire to eat any cooked food or junk food. but I want to have the butter and cream with it. And how would I do it?
Well, I would just make the lubrication formula. That's always the way you'll digest it quickest and best.
Just any time I can have it?
Now, what you do is like have a tablespoon after each egg, maybe 10 minutes after each egg.
Tablespoon
of the lubrication formula. And that way you'll space it out, you'll be clean all the way. You have a question? Yes?
I find raw fish plain without marinating it, and lime juice. But I'm concerned with the heat. So I'm trying vinegar and I don't like the taste.
Right.
I guess maybe pineapple, and that's the only thing I can think of.
Have you tried the sauces? There are so many sauces in the recipe book. Just a taste of it makes it easy to eat fish, even if it isn't marinated. But marinating a little bit in lemon is fine. I wouldn't do it in lime all the time. Lime is antibacterial. Lemon juice is fermentation. Helps ferment, break down the fish. So, and if you're going to do that, you just might rinse it off if you want. Get the excess lemon off.
Squeeze it out.
It's bothering your teeth. Or you notice a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you're just so thin. You have no extra fat. So.
Why would it bother his teeth? Why would it affect the lemon?
Well, the lemon has a tendency to attach itself to minerals, a lot of minerals. So, and also it searches for fat. The more fat it pulls, the more minerals go with the fat.
Orange.
The reverse of that is if you have too much cream, you can demineralize the system because the cream will start pulling minerals out of the body. Butter doesn't do that for some reason. The cream will. Excessive cream.
But the lemon and butter in the lube formula is fine, though, in terms of pulling.
Yeah, that's fine. Won't do it. Yeah. No, you can put too much lemon in, absolutely, and you'll have the same thing happen. But, I have that limit in there. But what I put in the book is the absolute maximum. You can always reduce it if you have a lemon problem. So my suggestion for you would be put on more weight, and try to use less lemon. Try to use some of the other sauces. Because there are a lot of good sauces in there that you could use to eat the fish raw without marinating lemon.
Isn't honey and butter a really good dessert whipped together? It's a really delicious dessert. Just honey
good.
And butter.
Yeah,
it's really
pretty good. Yeah. It's not. There's no protein in it, so
no. But if you
that's
want
a
to try
problem.
to have butter,
Yeah.
Aajonus.
Hold on. Just something about that?
Yes.
What?
So, okay, I marinate my fish in lime juice.
But I've told you many times, don't lime is an antibacterial.
So don't do it.
Lemon is the thing to marinate. Once in a while, you can do lime juice.
Okay.
But mainly lemon juice for marination.
See, I get everything in lime juice, and she uses it.
Yeah.
So does lemon or lime juice ruin the teeth?
Well, neither will ruin the teeth unless you're eating them too much and you don't have enough fat.
Okay.
Okay.
I have the beef. Okay.
Something about that?
Yes. I have found, but I want to ask you this, that by adding half orange to half lemon, it doesn't whiten the meat. And so that either chicken
doesn't
or...
what the meat?
Whiten the meat
Right.
as much for the chicken or fish.
Uh-huh.
And so I can leave it there longer and it doesn't go all that tight, horrible,
Right.
as if it's been broken down. Is that anything
That's
against
fine.
that?
You can use, I marinate sometimes in grapefruit
Yes,
juice.
it's much better.
Grapefruit juice in fish is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And it isn't near as strong, isn't even a fifth as strong as lemon. But some people don't like the taste of grapefruit. It's all up to you and your taste. I love grapefruit.
He didn't say how often.
The orange and lemon is beautiful, just
Yeah,
if anyone
orange
wants to
and
try
lemon
it.
is nice.
It's beautiful, half and half.
Japanese use oranges a lot for that.
Right.
Roger, did you have a question?
Yes, you were told me some time ago to put cream, butter, and coconut cream on the fish and the meat. And that works pretty good. It makes it taste good because the
Yeah.
coconut cream makes it taste good.
Yeah, but that's one of the sauces.
Well,
Yeah, that's one of the sauces
oh, okay.
in the recipe book. Yeah.
Reinventing the wheel.
Do you have a question?
Why would ocean water burn my ears?
Well, that means you don't have good wax to seal, and the salt water is getting in there, demineralizing your skin. What you're going to have to do is put a little coconut oil in your ear, or drip a little warm coconut cream in your ear before you go in, and that'll coat it. Also, draw your body, or force your body to make more wax to seal it. Okay. Do you have a question?
Yeah, I do. I bought your book 6 months ago, so I'm due to
Which
read
one?
it. The Primal Diet.
Uh-huh.
I'm due to read it. You said read it every 6 months, but it had a.
What's that for me? Quick. Or later, yes.
What is it? What is it?
Is that all?
Back.
Whipped cream and berries.
Who brought that?
Whose machine clicked?
This one. Came late.
This one did too.
Go ahead.
Hey, Joe.
So the book had a very good effect on me, specifically with the I ended up releasing it.
Can we get some?
Number one, migraine and almost like hyperactive, can't focus. I was wondering what. I'm sure there's a lot of things to follow from that. What would be one
Fish and cream together. She had a head injury a year ago, was it? And her brain is hyperactive, and she wanted to know how to calm it. And I suggested fish and cream together. Not a lot of cream, but fish and cream together. Don't sit down and drink a half a cup with your fish, because it's going to coat your fish and you won't digest it. But you could use like 3 tablespoons with a fish meal. And drinking like a tablespoon of cream about every 2 hours is going to help protect the brain. Remember, cream protects the brain and nervous system. Butter does not. No.
What did you say?
I said every hour and a half.
Hour and a half. I knew there was a half and a somewhere.
Do you have a question? Should I come back to you?
Yeah, right.
Okay. Kathy, do you have a question?
Yeah, I'm trying to think now. Yeah, about the corn on your feet. Now, the book says...
I don't have any corn on my feet.
I mean, anybody that does, it's in the book. It's in the book. It says that you should use papaya. Well, right now they have the orange papaya, which is with a lot of seeds in it, the black seeds. Of course, we take out the seeds. We're not going to coat our foot with that. It says about once a week. Now, also, I soak my feet in that soap. Do I need to keep doing that every week? Putting it on the oil, it's olive oil and papaya.
Now, are you talking about a corn, or are you talking about a wart, or what are you talking about?
The corn in your foot.
Okay.
And then I also last week I was in the manicures. I didn't know I was not supposed to put my feet in soapy water, because I had lime on it instead of putting coconut cream on it. So I want to know.
What's your question?
Well, I want to know, do I put it on both feet, papaya and olive oil? Because olive oil will help.
Do you have corn on both feet?
No, just this one.
Well, then why would you put it on both feet?
Because to take out from the soap from last week.
Well, I already told you what to do about
Well,
that.
I already washed it off. That's only one time. Don't I have to continually apply?
Remember I told you to do it for maybe 4 times?
4 times a day.
No, I said for what? I said put what in clay?
clay and papaya.
Okay, clay and papaya. You coat the foot with it. You use the
That's what I did.
moisturizer. Okay, and you do that every day for 4 days.
I didn't hear 4 days. It wasn't on my tape.
That was when your tape ended and you turned it over.
I didn't. Now, I mean, it's.
Well,
Yes.
I probably pretty much absorbed into the skin. So you just take some time to get out.
So I could start for 4 days again.
You could try it. See if that'll absorb it out of your skin.
Why don't?
What she did, she went to a pedicurist to have the, pedicure done, and she had a corn to have that worked on, scraped away as much as possible. They told her it was deep root. She let them I told her to take lime juice and use nothing but water and lime. And if you want to use something on your cuticles, you take coconut oil, for then put on the cuticles. But no soap in the water. She let them put soap in the water. Your lime juice is an antiseptic. They love to use alcohol, while they're cutting and trimming. Lime juice is your antiseptic. You just explain all that before you get started. If they're not comfortable with it, go to somebody else. Okay?
So what happens now? There's all this damage. I waited.
I thought
it was only one day.
Just told you to do.
I know. Now tomorrow I'll start it for 4
Do it
days.
for 4 days in a row. Okay? You have a question?
When I have digestion problems, not problems.
Slow.
So when I eat the meat, I always am craving something right after. Like I have to chew gum, xylitol or something like that. And it's very irritating.
Suck an egg. Suck an egg.
Don't like me. I can't do it. I can only, you brought me on that one a day and papaya and custard.
Then you can only have honey, or get some some honeycomb.
Yeah,
So
I
you
have
have
honeycomb.
you have the beeswax, you chew on that, that'll get some enzymes going.
After the meat.
Yeah.
We eat the meat and cream, that's what mine is.
Yeah.
And then you chew on the
Easy, very easy, yeah. Tastes better, too.
Yeah.
Chewing gum, aspartame, and that
No, it's
isn't.
none of that.
Sure it isn't. They've got 11 names for aspartame.
Xylitol?
Xylitol.
Xylitol.
The
Xylitol
gum,
is a-
that's all it is. I read the label. You can
They've got 11 names for aspartame. And if you want to know every name, 9 names for aspartame. And some of them they're calling it natural because they wash it. They're calling it clean and natural and good for health food in people. So look it up. The 9 names for aspartame. Find out what they are because they're on almost everything. Yes?
So just concerning the beeswax, I'm just wondering if it has any health properties.
Yes, it helps the skin immensely. The hydrochloric acid dissolves it, and it helps the skin, helps build, protects the ears, it helps do a lot of things, protects the eyes.
So you just swallow
Very,
it?
very helpful.
You just swallow it?
You chew it.
You chew it, and if it gets too dry, just put a little butter in your mouth with it.
And you swallow it at the end?
Swallow it. Swallow
It
it.
just breaks up gradually.
Pardon?
It breaks up gradually as you eat it.
Not for some people. Some people don't have the right proper enzymes in their mouth. So some that, but you have a good mouth. You have good activity in your mouth. You have good bacteria and enzymes in your mouth. Some people don't have that. Do you have a question?
Yeah, I was wondering if you could...
Linda Jack.
I was wondering if you could talk about the drives and the lanes in the brain. Like,
Yeah.
can you describe what exactly they are? How it would affect you in your everyday behaviors if you have some shut off?
Well,
Can you explain what the drive is?
when I do the irises, pupils that don't shrink when the light shine the light in their eye, That's a sign that they have certain lanes of their brain closed. That doesn't mean a whole area or cognitive center or motor center is shut down. That just means there's a limited passage of information going in and out. So when I look at each pupil, I say that there's 6 lanes in that eye, in this 6 lanes into that particular half of their brain. 6 lanes into the other half. So there's 12 lanes altogether. And depending upon how much that pupil will shrink, that tells me how much of the brain is open and available. If you shine a light in the eye and that pupil doesn't shrink, that means that brain is not open very much because it's not getting the light. If it gets the light, if it's all getting the light, that pupil's going to shrink and limit the amount of light that gets into that brain. But it doesn't make anything cognitively worse. For most people, it doesn't. Pardon?
What's the difference between drives and you referred to drives in the brain. You said you had 6 drives working. Same thing?
No, lanes, drives, yeah.
The same thing related to the eyes, you're saying? You call it either drives or lanes?
Well, it should be just lanes.
It's an indication.
I thought you meant hard drive.
Drives, lanes, same difference. Yeah. Okay, do you have a question?
I'm going to give my question back.
Okay.
Do you have any advice of how to, like when you go on an airplane and they take away your food? I had that happen to me a couple times. They confiscated my food, made me talk to the police. I'm not allowed on the plane with food. It's in 4 hours. You're not allowed to take your food. What do you do?
If you want to get beyond that, you take quite a few little small 3-ounce bottles.
Take more.
3 ounce, and you can have 6 or 7 of them as long as they fit into 1 quart Ziploc bag. So 3 ounces of juice, milk every,
Put 2 eggs
Pardon?
I put 2 eggs in each.
You can do that?
Yes.
Yeah.
What if you want to bring food for your trip, like some ceviche or some butter? And now they're getting so strict, they're not even letting you take. They confiscated my ceviche last time. 6 months before that, they didn't.
Well, if it's wet and liquid, they're going to take it.
Anything that's like at all wet. Yep. Yogurt, whatever.
So you can't take milk.
They'll
I
take
thought
it.
you can
No.
take
You
that
can
now.
Yeah, you can take milk in a 3-ounce container, mini 3-ounce containers.
Put in your check-in.
Check the cooler.
No, because the radiation is very heavy in those machines.
So is there any way around it? Letter, doctor?
Yes, you can have a doctor's letter. I take a whole half a gallon every time I go.
Like, 'cause he told me.
But I've got a doctor's letter.
He told me I don't care if you have a doctor's
Yes,
letter.
it's
You
like
only take as
me.
much as you can eat on the plane. That's it. That's what he
Well, I tell them I eat 2 quarts on the plane. I'll say I'm diabetic, and I have 3. I was diagnosed as diabetic. That's what my doctor's letter said. It doesn't say I still have diabetes. It says I was diagnosed as diabetic. Right. I was diagnosed as diabetic. So he has to eat every hour.
So what do you bring? Will they let you bring?
I take everything.
They'll let you bring in larger containers with it.
I take my whole. I'll take 2 of
walk
these.
in there like that?
I take 2 of these.
You walk in like that?
With all his stuff.
I mean,
his
his
letter.
in your hand.
No, I have my bag, and I take it out and hand my doctor's letter.
Do they X-ray it?
Did they X-ray?
Most of the time, they don't.
What size is that? Is that a quart?
This is a quart.
Do you take your green drink and your meat?
I usually have my green drink in the morning,
Okay.
so I
You take
don't
your
have it in the
eggs?
afternoon.
You take your eggs whole? And the egg shells?
They say, are these hard boiled? And I said, they're as hard as I want them.
What if they weren't hard for? What would they think?
Because it's liquid.
Oh.
I know, they're stupid. They are really ridiculous.
Have you had good success? I mean, most of the time, nobody takes
When I leave Los Angeles, I would say 75% of the time they don't scan my food. They never take my food away from me. They don't want to be responsible for a diabetic incident. There's no way they want to be responsible for a diabetic.
This might be to my advantage.
There you go.
first you're going to know from my doctor that I'm really
Absolutely.
diabetic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, you're great.
But you're
Absolutely.
not diabetic.
Oh, I got that.
No. My doctor said I was diagnosed as diabetic.
Well, I could say the same thing.
Right. Were you taking insulin at some time? Were you diabetic? Were you diagnosed as diabetic? Okay, I was. I took insulin from 15 and a half to 20.
Years?
No, I'm not anymore.
So what about people that aren't, like, never been diabetic? Is there another solution?
Little small bottles.
No other.
That's it.
Go without
That's
food.
it.
They told me that when I was there last time, I said, if I bring, I've got real problems, if I bring a note from the doctor, will that help? He said, no way. He said, I don't care what you bring, you're not taking it.
Yeah.
Don't, these are lackeys. You get a superior supervisor.
Screaming yeah.
What's that?
Airports, and I'm in little airports going to Buffalo and then going here. And I bring what I need, and I've had it all taken from me. And I've asked for supervisors, and I've said I'm diabetic. I mean,
You have to take a letter.
Do you have the letter?
I haven't tried it, but after all this happening, I'm afraid that the letter won't mean anything.
It works for everybody I know who takes a letter.
Okay, so let's just say that we can't take anything on the plane. Any suggestions to help us get through a long plane flight?
You can take the 3 ounce.
Get real food.
You can take your 3 ounce bottles.
Yeah, and I take eggs, and I take butter, and I take lubrication.
No, they don't.
They can't.
They cannot. They allow you to have, as long as what you have fits in a Ziploc quart bottle, you can take as many as you want.
Yes.
But you can't have it non-X-rayed though.
No, they'll have to have it X-rayed. But when you put it through the X-ray, you let everything go through, everything behind it. You wait until your food has gone through. You hold up the line. Because if they've got a bag in front that they're going to sit and look at for 2 minutes and decide whether they're going to inspect it, and your food's right behind it, it's going to get bombarded. So you let that pass through. And if he's sitting and waiting, you know that that's the last one, then you put your food on there. When he starts it up again, your food's going to go through, and they'll just pass through because there won't be any metal.
I always thought it was nuts for doing that.
It was what?
I always thought it was nuts for doing that.
No, that's what I do. And then after I know that he's okayed it, nothing goes on my next luggage doesn't go on that belt until I know he's okayed it and it's passing through and the belt's moving.
Put this metal on the container.
One important thing, I've done all my green juicing, and I packed and I put it in my big suitcase that I checked, and put it in coolers and packed it well. And randomly they choose maybe every fourth one to unzip and look at, which mine has been that, and they've even found all my greens. I've checked a lot of food and gotten it through. It's on the plane.
Yeah, but then you've got high radiation.
Yeah.
It's higher there than it is in the.
Oh, it's extremely high.
Not human exposure.
Yeah, very high.
It's in the cargo.
I found a way to get it on there.
What's that?
Okay, I have a cola that I make, and I can check it in his luggage. And I tell him it says food. I don't want you X-ray it. We can open it up and inspect it now if you let it go. But you have to do that when you come into the airport.
Yes, you have to do that, and you have to do that at the desk.
At the desk, right.
At the desk.
But they will allow you to go through.
That's what I do when I go to China, when I'm taking 30 pounds of butter and all kinds of other things with me.
You take a cooler, is that what you said?
Yeah, I take a cooler.
Oh, okay.
And then I go to the desk and I say, I need you to hand check this and pass it through.
You mean right when you check in?
As long as they don't send it through the X-ray.
So the radiation's not in the plane where the luggage compartment is.
Oh. It's the X-ray. Like big, huge machine they have. I mean, it puts out like 50 X-rays worth in one shot as your luggage passes through. So if you've got any food in that, it's highly radioactively charged. Your minerals in it.
That's not good.
Do you have a question? There was a lady in front of you? Did you have a question?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Right.
A small part of it comes in from Tokyo.
We treat physicians who have...
Be louder?
Can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
I'm a part of a small team. The main team comes in from Tokyo. We treat mostly physicians who have less than 8 or 9 days to live. They've already had chemo, they've had radiation, they've had surgery. They usually need to be carried in. And so I have to go through this young lady mentioned every time with the airport, and I do ask for the supervisor. If he hassles me, I take heavy weight aluminum foil and wrap it and do exactly what you say. Clear the deck, let it run through, and it seems to work each time. I mean, it may hassle them, but what seems to do the most is when the line backs up, they don't like the pressure from the line, so they usually say, okay, let's go.
Well, it depends upon, some personalities and some people can get it through easily. Yeah, always ask for a supervisor. Because the lackeys are told, definitely, and these are lackeys, they have no brains. It does not, if you have a brain, you're not in TSA. It seems to be a rule. I don't know why. So, you have to get a supervisor to get any, but most of them will tell you no unless you have a letter. So your safe way is just little 3-ounce bottles. If you want to take your liquid, they're just going to think it's shampoo.
Are they plastic or not plastic though?
I get glass.
Glass.
Glass is nice if you can get glass, yeah.
But there is metal in the top.
No,
that's fine. No, but
plastic all right? Plastic all right.
Well, it's okay for a short trip.
Yeah, but the metal in the top, that doesn't show up there.
Well, it doesn't show up as something alarming.
They do if it's not hot.
My question.
Just a minute. Okay, I got everybody over there. Yes.
We didn't.
No, you didn't. Back here. One more question.
David, you asked a question.
No, I didn't. Did I?
Yes.
He did.
Yes, you did.
He paid extra. He wants to get
another one.
He paid more.
I was going to ask, my wife has colitis. We came to see her, but she hasn't been following. We just came back from a trip for 2 weeks, and she was bleeding quite a bit. Is there anything that's,
She needs cabbage juice, a cup one day, half a cup of cabbage juice for about 4 or 5 days after that. Just a half a cup a day. Cup first day, another 5 days, the half a cup, 4 or 5 days. And she needs lots of eggs, just doing lots of eggs. And then do the diet that I gave her back then. Okay?
Fibromyalgia. What?
I don't like her at all. I won't date her. Fibromyalgia is when you have aching everywhere in the body. That's because toxins are storing in the nerves, in the muscles, in the tendons, everywhere. To relieve that, the best thing to do is just suck eggs and have little bits of milk at a time, like a half a cup. So have an egg 1 hour, the next hour have a half a cup of milk, skip 2 hours, an egg, next hour half a cup of milk, and just keep doing that for a couple of weeks to help relieve it. You can also have a little honey and that milk. If you're eating kefir, it's even better.
I find that milk really adds weight, though. Boy, does that weight just flies on with
You're
the
drinking
milk.
too much and you're drinking it cold still or not? I rest my case. You're hesitating. I know. That you're drinking it cold.
During the day cold, but at night, it gets warm.
I don't care.
At night it's warm.
Okay. It doesn't matter. You're putting on the weight when it's cold.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Just remember, when the milk is cold, goes into the stomach, contracts the stomach. Hydrochloric acid does not secrete, does not digest the milk, the lactate, nor the casein and a lot of the other proteins, and it does not divide and separate the minerals properly. So that clumps, gets into the blood, you can't digest it properly, causes allergic reaction, the body will store it in the tissues. Something toxic.
How come you never told me that?
I did! Dozens of times.
Last time, 3 weeks ago.
Absolutely be toxic. Yes.
Cold kefir is
No.
okay, right?
Cold kefir is fine, it's pre-digested.
Would that be bad? Cold water.
Any kind of water is bad.
I mean, but if you're going to drink the water, you drink it cold when it's
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
How to make kefir again real quick.
It's 2 tablespoons of honey per quart of milk. You blend that into some of the milk, you pour it back into the quart jar, then you put it in a cupboard, dark cupboard, and let it sit until it gets thick. And you might shake it a couple of times because the cream will settle on the top. And you want it to all digest together, so you may have to shake it a couple of times. Yes?
Yeah, I keep the granules I use, and I sit it out for 24 hours.
Okay. Those kefir grains have been washed a dozen times. They are nothing natural anymore. They're an entity amongst themselves. And they will interfere with your own bacterial environment in your intestines. So if you use the bacteria in the milk to pre-digest itself, along with the honey, it's the natural bacteria that's fresh from an animal, and it's natural. And it will help your own bacterial environment. The grains will interfere. It'll digest the milk for you, but it's not going to help you improve your digestion.
Okay.
Yes.
If you choose to fast on the trip, just not eat anything, get to wherever you have to go. And
After 5 hours, the protein level completely drops out in the blood. Red blood cells start eating each other. For every hour beyond the 5 hours, you lose at least a tablespoon of red blood cells. If you sleep 8 hours at night, you're going to wake up with about 4 or 5 tablespoons of blood deficient. Why do you think people go for caffeine in the morning? Because they are anemic. They wake up with anemia.
They're addicted.
So don't go 5 hours without eating.
The relationship between the caffeine and the anemia, I don't get. Does that help?
Caffeine gives them a charge, a false charge. Stimulates and excites the adrenals. So the adrenal gives them the charge, but they're still anemic.
Are you to say you're against fasting?
Yes. It's in the book. Yes.
My question has to do with the exercise. Will exercise on your diet, I know how you feel, will exercise on your diet keep somebody in shape? Because you said that you don't exercise, so I'm not exercising as much as I usually do.
Well, I'm not saying that you're not supposed to exercise.
Is that better for my weight to exercise?
Yes, if you want to help your weight and get firmer, exercise.
Okay,
But
I used to.
I look at activity rings in the eyes. That tells me how much hormones you were made to produce every day for how much physical activity. For each activity ring, it's an hour. That doesn't mean an hour of exercise, it means an hour of activity. So, I don't remember what you had, what I told you. How many? You had 6. So you're supposed to be busy 6 hours a day. So you could be exercising 2 hours a day if you want. Plus your regular activity.
But does that mean physical exercise, or you're saying something else?
Physical
exercise.
Physical. Yeah. And singing is the most strenuous
That's right,
of
you
all.
said that.
20 minutes of singing is like an hour on a treadmill. So singing can, if you're really anxious and in anxiety because you haven't burned your activity hormones for the day, you're going to be in anxiety and you will have to burn them up in anxiety. So just start singing or start exercising, do something to burn them. That's a misnomer, burning, to utilize the energy, to utilize those hormones. We don't really burn like a car burns. Okay? All right, what time is it?
5:30.
We're half an hour beyond, folks.
Yeah.
What's your question? You didn't ask one.
You just mentioned something about going 5 hours.
5 hours without eating.
So you sleep 8, so then you're already anemic to a degree. So what? I mean, because
You wake during the night.
Why I eat right before I go to bed, but then
You set your alarm for 3 hours and then you sleep 5 hours. Or you set your alarm for 5 hours and get up and sleep 3 hours. Some people, if they're hyperactive, they wake after 5 hours and drink a half a cup of milk or suck an egg for the protein. They can't go back to sleep. So they set their alarm for 3 hours. Then they eat and they get to sleep 5 hours.
Because a lot of times I will wake up and I'll just eat just for the fun of it. Yeah.
Perfect. That's what you should be doing. Yep.
So I can ask a question here?
Yes.
Okay. Last time I saw you had mentioned about because of the vaginosis thing. I had noticed because it's kind of embarrassing to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. I help women. Since I work a lot and I sit, I know, of course, in the past, when women tend to get it up into the vaginal area, the wind. So how do I prevent that from happening? Because then it goes into the vagina, and then it causes problems.
Well, you just have to wear a pad. Something to block it if you're that sensitive.
Or is it something I can put inside the vagina?
You're asking for trouble. You're asking for trouble. Anything can mold that you put up there. Even the sea sponge will start molding.
What about on the outside then?
Like I said, you can put something on the outside, a pad, or put something in your underwear to cover it.
What about coconut cream? You mentioned about bleaching with that. So
Yeah.
Can I put that on the outside?
Yes, you can.
Does that help?
You put it. Yeah, it'll help. Definitely will help.
So you don't recommend, I'm sorry, you don't recommend that women use tampons?
No, I don't. I don't recommend that women use anything up them. Well, I mean, you can put, to collect the blood, I don't think that's a good idea. But you can put coconut cream up in you, coconut oil, things like that. I wouldn't use olive oil up in there because that can be a little too acidic and prevent the mucus from forming as easily. So as a lubricant, I use coconut cream. And boy, does that work really well.
What about coconut oil?
Coconut oil, it takes some of the sensitivity away because it's too heavy. So if you want that fine sensitivity feeling, use the coconut cream. Coconut oil will work. Sometimes it gets a little too hot. You might come too quickly with the coconut oil. So, premature ejaculation. Pardon?
Coconut cream it is.
Yes. Right. Jim?
So what can we do to back you up in this trying to get raw milk acceptance in the U.S.?
Well, Ron Paul, Dr. M.D. Ron Paul is championing. Shut up. Is championing the bill for raw milk to make it legal on a federal level. When I put the email out there to go after your Congress people, your Senate, it'll be the House because he's in the House. When it goes through, you have to get online, get everybody you know to get after your congressperson, your House of Representatives, to vote yes on it. And also you can send donations to Right to Choose Healthy Food because I have to spend now $15,000 a year for a service. So all you have to do is click on and go, and that will send your fax. All you have to do is click, and it will send your fax.
That was good.
Good. Okay? So you don't have to go through the process making up the letter and faxing it yourself. Just click, and that company will fax it for you. Very expensive, though.
Can I make an announcement?
Just a minute. Yeah.
Whole Foods is getting rid of Rocky Chicken and they're replacing it with Mary's Chicken.
They have always.
They're going to look at the difference. And does Mary's meet your approval?
I haven't checked Mary's.
I have.
They changed
They
it.
use
They-
soy. Yeah.
How much?
Well, she seemed to think about average what everybody else is using.
Well, Rocky uses soy too.
Rocky uses 25%. Rosie Organic uses 75 to 80% soy.
She's reconsidering because she's having thyroid problems. I was emailing her for a while. I don't know if she's changed her mind.
Don't know. Anyway, I don't know what Mary's has.
You don't know what Mary's has?
You have to check. You have to call.
So the biggest issue is how much soy, right?
How much soy? Never over 25, 35%.
And what about whether they're cooking the food or not? I know Rosie cooks it. Is that true? That Rosie would...
They have to cook the soy.
Rosie is so dishonest, it's amazing. Because I called them and I said, wait a minute, you're feeding them 75 to 80% soy and you're calling it organic soy? You can't feed poultry soy raw. It has to be chemically and heat processed. Then if you're using a chemical with it and you're heating it and changing the chemistry, it is no longer organic. And they say, well, the FDA allows us to call it organic if the soy was raised organic. I said, but it's not in organic form when you're feeding it to the chicken. Well, it doesn't make any difference. We can say that.
Okay.
So they don't have any...
So the only issue with Mary's is not more than 25% soy.
That's better. 25, 35% soy.
Is there any other issues, like how else they treat the chickens, whether they give it
outside?
Of course. They're not supposed to give you any antibiotic or hormone.
They need to be outside.
And they don't have to be outside. They just need to be on a floor, not in a little cage.
On a cement floor is okay?
Yep, that's okay. Not the best, but that's still okay.
What about when they clip the beaks? Does that matter at all to you when they're chickens?
Most of them are going to do that in those big ranches anyway. Because they don't feed them good protein. Now at Amos Miller's ranch and all my Amish farmers' ranch, when I was in D.C., I spent the day at Amos's ranch. These chickens, they have slaughtered an animal, and they take all of the remains out there, not the guts. They give that to the pigs and and chickens. They'll take guts out there for the chickens, and they slop it out there for those chickens. Those chickens never peck each other. Because they get all of the meat that they want. They never get. They're happy. They're like happy ducks. They will follow you. They're happy. They're nice. They're not frantic. Protein deficient, crazy creatures.
They feed them meat?
They feed them meat. You're raw meat scraps after butchering.
They're so tiny, though. I mean, I ordered when I bought it here at Rawson. They're so tiny. His chickens.
Well, just the ones he slaughters. He likes his older ones for laying eggs.
So there's no meat on them.
Well, it's little meat. Yeah, very little.
Whose chickens are these?
Amos Miller.
Yeah, but Amos doesn't know how to get his eggs out here. He's having problems. He wants to find a way to get his eggs out here.
Yeah. $5 a
Use friends' eggs.
Could you mention whether you are doing anything?
I don't have any more time, folks. It's just too late.
No, it's all. Thank you.
Wait a minute. She didn't get a question asked, so it's...
Okay. I got a hairline crack in my finger. And I was wondering if you would have anything to say about that.
She has some hairline cracks in her finger, or one hairline crack in the finger. That means that she's not getting fats to that area on the inside, or there's something toxic drying up all the fats. So it's causing cracking like it does in a lot of people's feet.
No, when I fell. I mean, I had an injury, right? Oh, okay.
So it's the same difference. You use the lubrication formula or the moisturizing formula, and you can put little lime juice on the crack, and then coconut cream on top of that, and then honey on top of that, and you can put a Band-Aid on. But, a gauze Band-Aid, not a regular plastic Band-Aid. Okay, folks.
Well, that's it. That's a wrap.
Thank you. Do what?
Raw steak on a dried crack, would that also be...
No, won't work. It'll cause an acidity sometimes, and it usually won't seal it.
Okay, so
Only a fresh tear or cut or scrape. But I always put the lime juice on first, coconut cream, honey, and then the meat on top of that.
Okay.
That's the way I do it, and it works.
What do you do with the meat after?
I just want to mention
It's already
something.